Alrighty, guys. Ready to go. I think I got to start the camera over again. Hold on. Okay, that was weird. No, it works. Okay, everyone, we're getting ready to start our live again. Can't apologize enough for how slow the internet's been. It's obviously my fault, and everything about that is my doing. So, yeah, I really got to stop doing that. It's kind of putting a damper on things. I have a choice, and I keep making the wrong one, so what are you going to do? All right, so I'm going to start here again. I know we probably lost some of you guys in the great ChanceSTarot YouTube outage of May 5th, 2022, but I think I'm ready again. I'm ready to be heard again. Let's do this here. I'll move that up. We'll go like this. I'll see. Let me see something really quick. Just going to make sure that everything's running okay. Yep. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Let's take a sippity sip of the water and let's get going. Who out there is ready for some football? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know sports. Home run. Let's do this and get started here. When we get, hey there, Fairy Wish. There's Charlene. Perfect. Here in just a second, Fairy Wish. You can go ahead and start asking your question now. Hopefully, guys, everything works out okay. Ashish Kumar, Tomta, thank you so much for your subscription. I'll probably be chatting with you in about 10 minutes, just because we got to wait a little bit of time there. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. And yes, Fairy Wish, Charlene actually paid for her reading first, so I'm going to finish up the rest of her reading, and then we should be good. Let's do this here. So let me do this. So, yeah, there we go, Charlene. We'll finish up doing the goal stuff for you, Charlene, because that's what we were focused on. Hell yeah, this one's Trixie. And I'll do this. God, Atomizer, you say you're confused, you're wondering if someone is your soulmate. I'm going to say this, I do not believe in soulmates. I don't believe in the twin flame. I believe that anyone can be compatible with us if there is communication and openness. I sincerely believe that. But there has to be those things in place. I think the soulmate thing, to me, honestly, it's a bunch of bullshit. And the reason I think that, I've seen people stay in horrible situations, awful, abusive situations, manipulative situations, saying that's my soulmate. It's like, no, it's not. Nope. You're in a bad situation. You don't know how to get out. And so you're staying stuck in this kind of thing. So I don't believe in that. I do believe that there are several people for each person. Right? Well, thank you, Charlene. That's just something I've learned because a lot of people get stuck in limerence. A lot of people get stuck in that way of thinking, and I don't want to enforce that in any way, shape, or form because that just puts it more in that realm. And I think tarot readers should start taking a stand against this kind of stuff. You can believe there's a soulmate, that's great, but you're limiting your options, thinking that there is the one, and that you could blow your chance and never hit the one again. Or you put so much emphasis on that person that if there is a breakup, the only thing you're going to do for the rest of your life is wish it didn't happen. And there's so many more opportunities, so many more people out there. You can't do life wrong, okay? You learn your lessons no matter which way you go. So yeah, I'm definitely not the guy you go to for soulmate readings. Are they interested in you? Do they like you? You know, that could be something, but I don't believe in twin flame soulmate. Awesome, Charlene. I'm glad you agree. Okay, so we're going to focus on some goal healing here. I did a little bit of it earlier, but essentially what we do is this. Let me go to this here. And I did finally get the guys to come to my house. It seems like it's working a little bit better. You guys tell me, does it seem like it's working better? Hopefully it's not going to be buffering or anything like that. I hope. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but that's what I'm hoping for. God Atomizer, yes, I can. That's something we can go into. But I am going to be doing someone else's reading first. So I'll put you on the list here, and we'll go from there. Okay. So like I said, Charlene paid for her reading, and I'm going to go to her first, and then I'll go to the free list. Jim Carrey. Yeah, I'd carry him. I would. I would carry Jim. Maybe across a ravine. Horrible jokes on this channel, guys. Fair warning. They are not good jokes. Hey there, Daphne. Yes, you absolutely can. I'm just putting some people's names here down. We got God Atomizer. We've got Daphne. And then just for funsies, I'm going to put my own name down just to waste some time. No, I won't do that. Not again. Okay, so like I said, here's what we do. As I'm doing stuff on this channel that are new kind of things, maybe things that you guys haven't heard of before. Yes, Fairy Wish, you're the first one on the free list. So Fairy Wish, God Atomizer, and Daphne, you guys are all on the list. You sure, Charlene? Okay. You don't have to tell me twice. Okay, so Fairy Wish, you said, will Authie and you get back together? All right. Let's do this one. Thank you, Charlene, for that. That's very sweet of you to do that. Okay. Awesome, Charlene. Thank you again. I appreciate that. It gives you more time, right? So it actually is in your best interest to do it that way. So I'll go like this. We'll get those going here. Awesome, Chantel. Again, thank you guys for being patient with me. And thank you for saying all the nice things about the artwork I posted. I appreciate that. Can everyone, and I'm not saying this so you guys pay the price or anything, I just want to know if you guys can read this on your end if you're on a phone or a computer. Can you guys read the text here? I tried to make it as clear as possible, but yeah. And the prices that Chantel has there as well, those are also true. I only wanted to do 3 things here. 2 questions is $7.99. A question with a time frame is $6.99. Or just 1 question that's more like a little bit more detail than just yes or no. That's going to be $4.99. But is everything okay? Honey? Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's shuffle these cards here. Fairy Wish. Will Authie and Fairy Wish get back together? Hopefully it's going to be very likely. You know what I mean? But we'll look. Will you two get back together? That's the sound of a whistle bird. They're really, really small little birds. All right. I'm making shit up, guys. I'm flying by the skin of my teeth, whatever that means. I didn't think teeth had skin. Okay, so we get this card here. This is the 10 of Swords in reverse, or the 10 of Swords, okay? When I see this card in reverse, Ten of Swords is usually like an anxiety card. It's a mental card. It can be mental fatigue. When I see it in reverse, there may be a reconnection later on down the road. But I would say right now it's not looking very likely, but possibly later on there could be a reconnection. As I've always said on this channel, don't wait around for anybody, you guys. Live your life. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. There's a possibility of it, but don't put your life on hold for somebody. Okay, do not do that. We do not get time back ever, so use it wisely. All right, and God Atomizer, you were wondering about this here. Hold on. Hey, Lindsay. Yes, I can add you. Welcome to the channel, Lynn. Lindsay. I'll call you Lindsay because it's close. No, I'll just call you Lynn. Okay. You're welcome, Fairy Wish. Oh, thank you, Chantel. A lot of people liked the second one that I posted. So I'll have to keep that in mind. I had another one that I did, and maybe you guys will like this one. I'm just going to show you this one, and then I'll go back straight to the readings here. This one, I kind of got into a place where I was having a lot of fun, and this one came to me, and you guys can tell me what you think. So I'm going to send it. Let's see. I forget how to do it sometimes. We do that. Nope. This. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, I'll show you guys this one. I'll get straight back to the readings here. It's a sensual influence, the second design. Oh, wait. Where was it? Okay, let me try that again. There we go. All right, this was the last one I worked on. Yes, Ashish, I can put you on the list here. Okay. Nope. All right, hold on a second. Hey, Langes with Sandra. Welcome, guys, to the channel. I will definitely add you to the list here. So Ashish and... let me do this. We have Ashish, and then we have, I'm just going to say Sandra, because that's going to be easier for me. You guys are on the list. You're number 5 and 6, respectively. Okay, so God Atomizer, are you still here? And then, like I said, I will share this, and then we'll be good. Because I know you guys like the artwork, and I like showing it, so. There we go. So there we go. You guys tell me if you like that one. Awesome, you're here. Perfect. Okay, we'll look and see if the person likes you. We'll go from there. Oh, thank you, Kayla. I didn't know you were on. Awesome. Yeah, this one was fun to do. This one was fun. I enjoy getting into that creative space and just just being creative. That's a thing to say. It's right at the hilltop, dandelions of summer. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Okay. Hey there, Cambria. Alrighty. I'll take it down here in just a second. Hello, Sandra. All right, let's do this here. Let's get rid of this. I no longer need the validation to feel special. You guys have made me feel that, so I'm good. I'm good for the next like 30 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna need validation again. It's a painful thing for me, but you guys definitely make me feel creative. You guys are always super sweet, very kind people, and I really appreciate that. Okay, let's get this going here. And let's shuffle the cards on up. How does, let's see. All right. Does this person that God X Atomizer, or God Atomizer, is wondering about, do they like them? Let's see here. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. So what I get is this here. This one is the Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay. And then for some reason I drew another card. I'm not going to do this with everybody. In fact, I'm rarely going to do it. My mind just kind of slipped. I thought I was doing a paid reading. Got a little left up. We have the Three of Swords in reverse. Both of these cards are sword cards. So I'm going to say probably not if I'm seeing this. Maybe if there's a stronger connection in the future, if it's something that kind of grows organically, there could be something. But right now, I'm not seeing that being the case. I will say this. I'm not going to say no, it's not going to happen. But it seems, at this point, it seems unlikely. But I'll never say never. But again, I never put your life on hold for anybody. That's always kind of my words of wisdom there. So that's kind of what I got for you, God X Atomizer. So, and also, you know, just ask them as well. Or look at body language, look at the way people do that. We can go from there. Yes, Kayla, are you still here? Didn't know if you were... Okay, it looks like you're still here, I'm thinking. So, Kayla, what's your question? Awesome. Do you have a question? I should ask that first. You're welcome, Atomizer. I'm wishing you the best, my friend. Okay, so let me do this here. Just anything, something general. I'll give you something corporal, and you're gonna have to take it. Why are you guys turning off? Why are you guys turning off? Career general. Okay, all right. Let's do it. Let's see what we can come up with for Kayla. I'm going to her and not the next person on the list because Kayla is a member. So, you know, if you guys want to have that, get your shit together, click the join button. Do it for me. Do it for yourself. Every donation, I give a cup of coffee to a kitten. They don't know what to do with the cup of coffee, but I just, you know, I love confusing kittens, so it's kind of my thing. Hey, Destiny, I'm doing good. How are you? Click it, baby! Yes, I like that language much better. I spent all I could on that last one. That's as much personality as I can muster here for the next 5 minutes. But Kayla's got a point. All right, general career reading for the K-Meister. That's what I get. May you get a reading, you're a Virgo. Destiny, I'm so sorry to hear that. It is terminal. No, Destiny, yeah, I can put you on the list here. I'm just giving you a hard time. There we go. Alrighty. General career reading for Kayla. Actually, you haven't... I don't think you've seen the new cards that much, Kayla, so I'll use those instead. Plus, I like using them. They're fun. Okay. So these are the Light Seers Tarot, is what it's called, and it looks like this. That's the front box. Okay. Really, really good deck, and the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. So, the Sun card is my favorite of any tarot deck. Just, I mean, it's... Oh, they're beautiful. They're beautiful cards. Let's try here, doing this here. Alright, general career reading for Kayla. What does Kayla need to know when it comes to career choice? Or career, just in general, just general career stuff. Whew. All right, here we go. All right, Kayla, so here's what I got for you, my friend. We've got the Chariot in reverse. Okay. The Chariot is normally a quick-moving card. The Chariot, to me, when I see it, it's similar to the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is a card of like really fast-moving energy. The Eight of Wands or any of the Aces are similar to a Major Arcana, which means it's a lot of energy. And in this reading right here, there's a lot of energy. We have the Chariot in reverse, okay, and we have the King of Wands in reverse. There's something, and then I heard the word like jacket or coat, which was interesting. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. But what I'm seeing here is that there's something that you maybe want to do, or maybe you want to go after, and maybe you haven't been doing it. Maybe there's something that you're afraid to reach for. Or maybe there's something, you know, to me it seems like there could be something you're afraid to go after, or there could be something that if you had the opportunity to do it, maybe you would be a little too scared to take it, right? Because King of Wands in reverse is making me feel like you're a passionate person, but something's made it so that your light's dimmed a little bit. Your creativity is there, but maybe you're in an option where you don't have a way to express it, right? Just like I was having a really hard time saying that sentence. It works perfectly because you guys can see me flounder about. But that's what I'm seeing here, and I would honestly say, like, go for it, right? I say this all the time, and it's the grimmest thing I can say, but also, you know, it kind of makes sense, and it kind of helps us get our asses in gear, okay? All right, and I've got two of them, so I should know. Asses, that is. Basically, we're going to die one day. All right, and I know that doesn't sound like the pep talk you want to hear, because it sounds like I'm going in the reverse direction, but hear me out on this. We are going to die one day. It doesn't really matter what we're doing as long as we do it, okay? We're probably not going to be remembered when we're gone. That's okay. I sure as hell don't want that. But what we do here transfers into the soul world or the spirit world, whatever you'd want to call it. I believe experience and love are the things that carry over. And from experience and love, we learn so many lessons. And I'm just going to say, if we can do something, if there's an opportunity to do it, even if it fails, at least you tried, right? At least you can say, you know what, I tried, and it may have quote unquote failed, but the fact that you did it and you went after something, even if it doesn't work out, you're doing it. You're doing the thing. And eventually it does work out. You know, it took me many years and lots of failures of trying to work from home, trying to work online before I finally got it. And, you know, it takes time to find what you feel you could be good at, but you have to express yourself enough to find the things that you would be good at. A lot of times we stop ourselves before we try, and it makes it so that we can't we don't do the thing. So I'm just saying go for it, right? What do we have to lose? Okay, we might be a little embarrassed, all right? I deal with that on a daily basis, okay? Oh well, if I'm embarrassed, I'm gonna live. If I'm doing a reading and someone says, no, that doesn't resonate, sorry, I just got super quiet in my house. So it's like, but if I'm doing a reading and it doesn't resonate, not the end of the world. It sucks. My ego gets bruised a little bit. I'll survive, right? You know, yeah. And like I've said before, people in the Middle Ages, right? I'm overexpressive with my hands today. You're just going to have to deal with it. People in the Middle Ages, they would put skulls on their desk, okay, actual human skulls, because they were metal as hell. Like that's how they rolled. But they would do that to remind themselves of mortality. Eventually, we all become the skull. We all become nothing more than worm food, all right? And I'm not saying that to make it so that life is scary. I'm saying that to say, go for it. Do the thing. Worst thing that happens is that you can't do the thing anymore, and then you can move on to something else. You know? Okay. Does that help you, Kayla? Does that light a fire underneath you? Like a safe fire, the kind that doesn't burn, but it tingles a little bit? Because that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. Kayla, you're more than welcome. And I will salute you, and I will say, good luck out there in the field. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Blue Earth. Let me put you on the free list here, and then we're going to start whittling down the free list. All right, let's do this here. Okay, Daphne Lewis. Are you still there? Do I do detailed reads? Blue Earth, if you knew anything about me, I can't shut up. It's the one thing I cannot do. Do I do detailed reads? Absolutely. In fact, it's hard to stop me from doing detailed readings. Those ones do cost. Those ones do cost the monies, the green stuff, the ka-ching. But other than that, yeah. I do free yes or no, just simple yes or no questions. But I do charge for the other ones. And I charge for time frame questions. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, Daphne says, was Ricardo shocked to see me again? No contact. Let's look at that, Daphne, and see. Was Ricardo shocked to see Daphne? Let's take a gander and then meander on over here. Welcome though, Blue Earth. Yeah, you're on the free list here. Cassandra, how is it going? Oh, man. Today you bumped into each other at a park when you were chilling with a friend. Made it really awkward. Yeah, that tends to be the thing. Because it's like, what do you say? There's not a lot you can say that isn't awkward. Nice weather we're having. Doesn't really cut it. Not really. Very good today, and you? I'm gonna say doing pretty damn good, except for the weird internet issues, but I think those are resolved. And I'm pretty sure the internet is even stronger now. It's got biceps, triceps, quadriceps. Of course you got nothing to say, Daphne. That's a normal response to be awkward. I'm like that in every situation, but, you know, with an ex or with someone we were... Yeah, it is awkward. It's like being put on the spot and you have to think of something and my mind goes blank every time. It's like, But if you maintain really intense eye contact, the person eventually just leaves. Just don't blink. Okay, so was Ricardo shocked to see Daphne again? Alrighty. So I'll put you on the list again, Shatha, just because we had to start over and it's actually been a really long time. So you're on the list again, though. You didn't even make eye contact, couldn't even look at him. You just wanted him gone. Absolutely, absolutely. And you don't want to entertain that connection. Making eye contact, it's like you're exchanging psychic energy, so I get it. So you're on the list again. Yeah, of course it killed your vibe. Of course it did. Let's do one more shuffle. Was he shocked to see you? Seven of Swords right here. Did he try to start a conversation with you, Daphne? Did he, like, try to say anything? Or was it just sort of like a looking and then the person left? Because I have something I want to say, but I want to know the interaction you had with this person. You obviously didn't look at them, but was it like a... He said hi, looked, then left. But he stayed for a few minutes with his friend he was coming with. Okay, okay. And what are the odds of running into this person? Are you in a big city? Is this an out-of-the-way spot that you two didn't... Of course you didn't say hi back. You're absolutely fine to not... You don't owe anyone anything, okay? I don't care if it's a relative. The only exception is if it's a child. You know, then if it's your child, you know, don't ignore them. But other than that, you don't owe anybody anything. You just totally ignored him. Awesome, Daphne. Small town. Okay, so I'm going to say this then. So we got Seven of Swords in reverse right here. So were they shocked to see you? I'm going to say I'm shocked that I can speak, right? So I'm going to say Seven of Swords in reverse. I feel like, in a way, not really. Not really. It doesn't feel like they were shocked to see you. The fact that they said hi and they reached out, it feels to me like not that they were planning it necessarily, but that they don't feel things the same way you do. They don't feel things on as deep of a level as you do, and so it's easier for them to just say hi and have it be something casual versus you, who I feel like is all in those kinds of situations. And so it's hard to want to even start something again because this person, you know, kind of showed you their true colors in a way, or this person showed, yeah. So I'm going to say no, I don't feel like they were shocked, not like you were, right? And you said it killed your vibe too. And with this person, I feel like... yeah, I don't feel like there was a shock value. It doesn't feel... I mean, Seven of Swords in reverse, it doesn't feel like there was a love connection of any kind. It just feels like it was awkward. Yes, he showed his true colors, nasty ass. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. All right, I will hook you guys back up to the Wi-Fi because you're not going to stay on. Sorry, my lights are telling me. Of course you do, Daphne. Of course you do. I'm feeling sick for you, and I don't even know the guy. I just know it sounds awkward. And it's him that's making it awkward. It's not you, right? It's this person just being this person. So, give me a second. Let me hook my lights up again because the power breaker went out. For some reason, the internet went out. And then right after the internet went out, the power breaker went out. And it's like, what is going on? Yeah, remember, guys. No, he did me a great deal of pain. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, again, you don't owe anyone shit. And even if there's someone that you just don't vibe with, even if it's something where they haven't treated you like shit, remember this, people, you never owe anyone anything. Okay? And I'm saying that because a lot of times people get themselves in situations, and maybe this is kind of weird for me to say, but people get themselves in situations that, like they'll put out or they'll do something because they feel like they have to, because the person paid for dinner or because this is happening, right? But that's not something you ever have to do in any situation. And if you're ever feeling pressured or anything like that, step away from that situation. All right? Always in his ego. Yes. Cheating, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Making you feel small, 100%. So it's actually a good thing this person just left you alone and you're doing your thing now. Absolutely, yes. When you're dealing with someone, you got eggshells and you got ego, right? You know, ego, eggs. I get you. I understand that. So, and men can have very big egos. And if you so much as sneeze in a direction of a man's ego, it bruises like a damn soft peach, okay? And the list goes on and on. Just not a great person to be around with. Nope. Yes, Blue Earth, absolutely. When you know your value, you realize it's best to leave the person. That's the thing, though, is that we need to know our value. Thinking women are less than men as well. Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't a toxic person think that? Okay? I'm just saying. You could tell me this person was X, Y, and Z. I'd believe it, because a lot of times when people have this kind of skewed thinking, they don't just stop at being nasty and cheaters. They're also liars, they're vindictive, they're manipulators, they're, so many other things. So, yeah. Just a man and a woman should kiss his feet. Well, he's not getting that, at least not from you. That's good, Blue Earth. You're working on your self-worth and acceptance. Absolutely, and that's a journey. It takes time. Be gentle with yourselves on this journey, guys. And realize that it takes time. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Allow yourself to feel and be open to new ways of experiencing things, okay? Because we can feel our emotions and because we're in tune with that, it makes it so that we get to move on and we get to carry on. The people that we're with that treat us like shit, they're going to stay 5 years old forever. They're going to be these toxic 5-year-old people, and they're not going to realize that they can change. At least for people like us, we're sensitive, yes, but we have the ability to change and adapt and become something more. Yeah, Daphne, I understand that. I can understand that. I'm going to do this here, just go to the next person. But still feel free to talk, Daphne, if you want to. Lynn C., are you there? Oh, yeah. You're welcome, Daphne. It's sad that some people have to deal... Let me see here. It's sad that some good people have to deal with people who drain their energy and make them feel like they're not good enough. Give him the world, but breadcrumbs come back, right? So I'm going to say it like this, guys. And you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, and Lynn, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to say this. We learn more through suffering than we learn through being comfortable. A lot of times the universe will teach us lessons that seem harsh, but in the long run, they're things that are meant to help us. It's the cure to the poison. But sometimes we get a little bit sicker before we get better because pain comes, suffering comes, and from that we learn. Okay, when we're comfortable, we generally don't learn lessons. But when we're uncomfortable or we're suffering or we're in pain, we usually learn the lesson that way. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, where I would say, yeah, healing hurts, but that's the whole thing. Okay, so does Dekio have good intentions towards Lynn? Let's look at that. Let's do this one. Good. I'm glad you guys agree with that. Because even if you didn't, it still would have been how I feel about it, you know? Doesn't mean I'm right, that's just how I feel. You know? When humans get complacent, we stop growing. We just do. And it's not a fault of our own. The brain likes to be comfortable. The brain doesn't like to be challenged. The brain doesn't like to have new experiences because it challenges itself, right? And so we need to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Yes, Blue Earth, you're on the list. When we learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable to as much as we can, then true growth can start to happen. Yes, absolutely, Sandra. Absolutely. Okay, let's look at this for Lynn and see what we can come up with here. And, oh, sorry. You guys don't want to see me scratch my armpit on camera. But it's either that or just squirm in my seat. I'll do that anyway, but... It's hard to learn the lesson, it is, but here's the thing. Once you learn the lesson, I mean, you really learn the lesson. The universe has a way of being like, all right, you want to do the same thing over and over again? I'm going to give you the same lesson over and over again, and each time you go through that lesson, it becomes harder and harder and harder until it's unbearable, and you're like, okay, I need to change something. And then you can change it, and then you realize your self-worth, your value, and you don't attract those lower people anymore. Or if they're around you, you can see through their bullshit right away. You can be like, bullshit, bullshit. Yeah, maybe, you know. All right. We can't just go with any cuties. We gotta get with people that respect us and appreciate us for who we are. In fact, I heard something, guys, and you may not agree with this, and I don't care. I really don't care. But hear me out on this, right? Women have more power than you guys know, okay? And I feel like you give that power away too easily, okay? And I would say this because I heard this from someone on YouTube called The Crappy Childhood Fairy. She's really good. I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but watch her videos. She talks about a lot of this stuff, and she talks about ways you can make these kinds of things better. But one thing she said that I absolutely agree with is that do not sleep with or be intimate with somebody until 3 or 4 months in. And that sounds like a long time, but in the 3 or 4 months that you're not doing that, you get to know that person's character. You get to know who they are, their life circumstances, you know, how they treat people. You get to understand that person, and then there can be intimacy after. But I feel like waiting is such a powerful thing because women have so much power in that department, right? In heterosexual relationship, well, in any, you know, getting to know the person is prime and foremost the best thing that you can do. And I know sometimes the hormones, the chemicals, they're going through, but we need to slow down and we need to have the person wait, because what that does is it shows that we value ourselves and that we're putting boundaries up, and we're not going to shake those for nothing. But it shows that we have self-respect. And yeah, and maybe that sounds prudish of me to say it that way, but you guys can tell me, do you agree with that? What do you think? You know, you can say maybe that's too long. Maybe it's just right. I don't know. But when Crappy Childhood Fairy said that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. And if you've been in a bad relationship, like a toxic relationship, I would say don't date anyone for a year at least. Find yourself, because when you're in a toxic or narcissistic relationship and you're coming out of that, your sense of identity has shrunk so much that you don't know who you are anymore, and you need to rediscover yourself. I'd say a year or two max, and then go into the dating world again, because you need to rediscover who you are. Again, these are just my thoughts, but, well, my thoughts and Crappy Childhood Fairy. Check her out on YouTube if you guys want to see her. She's good. She's really good. There you go. Yes, Sandra, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's give these cards a shiftlety. That's my way of saying shiftlety. It's just nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. I'm shuffling the cards, okay? If you guys are going to make it weird, whatever. Here we go. So, does Dekio have good intentions with Lynn? That's an interesting card there. So I'm going to say this, all right? No matter what I say on this, guys, no matter what I say, the whole point of this channel is, you know, so I can make a little bit of the green stuff. But besides that, and I mean money, maybe pot. I don't know what you guys are going to pay me with. I'm open to whatever. But it's also to help you guys make it so you don't have to come to these kinds of channels to rely on other people to get your own responses. A lot of times people that come to these tarot channels, their compass, their emotional compass, their moral compass, not moral compass, but their emotional compass has been skewed, and they view tarot readers as being these people that can provide insight and answers. And we absolutely can, right? Some of us. But the main thing that I'm going to say this right here, I want you guys to have that for yourselves. Eventually, the whole point of this is that I want you guys to go out there and you don't need me anymore. You don't need the channels anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm confident, secure enough in myself that I know if someone has these intentions or someone doesn't have these intentions, right? And so no matter what I say on this channel, I want you to keep this in mind, okay? I'm a human. Sometimes I'm going to do readings for you. They're going to be spot on. Sometimes I'm going to do readings and maybe I'll read into it in a way that doesn't quite make sense. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I am not a god. I'm not going to be saying what is absolutely true. This is something that what I say, I want you to use your own judgment moving forward and realize what's happening. So I'm going to say this before I read this card for you. Does this person treat you with respect? Does this person talk over you when you're trying to speak to them? Does this person remember the things you like or what you've said? Does this person communicate with you in a way that they ask you questions, they listen, and they talk with you? Is there kind of a throwing the ball conversation, which is like, here's how my day went, and then you toss the ball to that person, they catch it, they talk. Are you doing that with the conversation? Are you playing catch with each other? And then appreciation, respect, all of those things, okay? If those are all there, then like I said, those are good people to be around, okay? Getting to know them even further, though, there's nothing wrong with that before we do anything else, all right? Women have power, plain and simple, and you guys get to use that power however you want. And if someone is ever trying to test those boundaries with you, they are not for you. Step away from that situation. We should never feel rushed into making any choices, especially intimacy choices. Never should we feel rushed or obligated or like we have to do it. Okay? I'm sorry if it seems like I'm harping on this, but I just want you guys to know that. I want that to be cemented in. Okay. All right, that ends my TED Talk. There will be refreshments served out of my van. It's a creepy van, but it does its job. Okay, so here's what I got. I have the Hierophant right here, and we have a happy guy looking up here. We could have Deccio being someone who maybe is more traditional with the way they do things. If you feel good around this person, if you feel a sense of like this person has your back, you feel like you can trust this person, and if this person has shown you through actions, not just through words, that you can trust them, then I would say go forward in that kind of situation. But if not, like I'm saying, use your own judgment and focus on the character of the person. You can fall in love with the way a person looks. There's nothing wrong with that. But when this person gets older, if you're with this person for the rest of your life, when this person gets older, it's going to be the character that you're going to be falling in love with. So look past the looks, look past the body, because eventually it's just about the character that a person has, the soul that they have. Okay, I'll get you going. I promise. But I'm going to need you to light up again. Can you do that for me, lights? Can you? Come on. There we go. I knew you could do it. I knew. Anyway. They're good lights. They have a hard time. So, Lynn, does that make sense? People don't prank each other with whoopee cushions anymore. And I'm a little bummed about that. That used to be a thing. You know, you'd sit down, you wouldn't think you would hear a fart sound, but then you would hear a fart sound, and laughter would ensue, right? Oh, anyway. Awesome, Lynn. Perfect. Okay. Now, Ashish, are you there? No, Blue Earth, you're going to be coming up here in a minute, I think, but we have Ashish. There we go. You are very welcome, Lynn. You're very welcome. Thank you guys for stopping by the channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to know whenever I go live, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Hit the like button, blah, blah. Look in the description for my other blah, blah links. And there we go. But seriously, if you guys want to be notified, hit the bell icon and then hit the thingy that says when I'm going live. All right, now Ashish is wondering if we're gonna be going into, I can't say that in an accent, so I'm just gonna go back to normal here. Will they get success in UKPSC, Uttarakhand, India, pre-exam, which is held on the 3rd of April, 2022. Let's see, will it be successful? Will it be successful? Okay, well, we're shuffle here. We're going to be going for about another 2.5 hours because I didn't get to do my thing. So we're going to be going until about 9 o'clock my time. So about, like I said, another 2.5 hours. Okay, so here we go. Need just a second here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So with this right here, I feel like it's going to be close because I get the 5 of Wands, but then I get the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like it's going to be close, but it's a competitive environment, and you may pass. But it's feeling to me like you might not. And so if you can start studying now to retake it, that might be helpful. But it's not a failure if this is something that doesn't work out. Hopefully you can retake the test again. It just feels like it's very competitive, or it feels like there's stuff that can get in our heads when we're focusing on this, and so it can be kind of an intimidating environment. Hopefully, though, you do get it, Ashish, but that's just what I'm seeing with the cards. But I'm hoping you do get it, because what do I gain by wishing you ill fortune? You know what I mean? So, but that's what I'm seeing. I feel like you might miss it just barely. Hopefully that's not the case, though. Hopefully, I want to be wrong. Right? I don't want to be right with that stuff. I want you guys to succeed. But I'm just letting you know what the cards say. And some days the cards bust balls. Most days the cards bust balls. They smash all the genitalia you can imagine. It's just everywhere. It's gruesome. And, you know, that's where we're at. So, yeah. All right, I'm going to go to the next one here. And we've got Sandra. Are you still there, my friend? It's always thirsty business to be doing this. Essentially, I'm monologuing for hours on end. Okay, will Sandra's ex-Aquarius come back this month? Awesome, Sandra's here. Will your ex-Aquarius come back this month? Let's take a gander into the future. Let's see. I'm sorry, you guys. I wish I had a reason why I would feel so tired, but some days I'm just a little sleepy Jefferson. That's what I call myself when I'm tired. Alrighty. Sandra, Will your ex-Aquarius come back this month? It's looking like it's possible. We have the Swords card here, and the Swords represent air, right? Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. And so when I see this card, it's making me think like, yeah, they could be coming back. Look at the spiral staircase. And what I want you to see with this, so Mercury in retrograde isn't just about technology going poo-poo on us, right? Because technology tends to do that. It just takes a huge dump, and then you're like, wow, I'm left with this. I've had internet issues, okay? But when I see this card, when I see the Ace of Swords, Mercury in retrograde can also talk about lessons that we've already learned and revisiting them and getting a deeper understanding of those lessons. So if this person was someone in our lives that mistreated us or had these kinds of things happen, there could be an opportunity for this person to pop up in your life and for you to deny them the pleasure of your company, right? For you to say, I don't want to be with you. If they treated you like shit, you can literally be like, yeah, I don't want to be with you. And the universe will say, okay, you've learned this lesson, right? And you can move forward past that. Hey there, Queen 9, how is it going? So that's what I'm talking about there. I do feel like, yes, there's a pretty good possibility, especially when I see new ways of thinking, but you ultimately have the choice to say yay or nay. And yeah, always remember that, Sandra. You got the choice. Yes, it does. Sometimes Mercury in retrograde brings back the X's. And it breaks your Xboxes as well. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Oh, you're resting. Perfect. Perfect. Rest is always really important. I get my 30 minutes a night and I am ready to go. So I get the rest is important. Like I've said, you guys, always remember that you have power. At first, declaring yourself as being important feels like it's a selfish thing, but almost everyone that visits these kinds of channels, we have people-pleasing tendencies, okay, and we have perfectionistic tendencies. In time with self-love and gentleness, we can start to correct these kinds of behaviors, but it takes time and it takes effort, and the first time you declare yourself to be important, you declare self-love, and you stand up for yourself, it is going to feel awkward as hell. It is not going to feel comfortable, but that's the reason why we keep going. It feels uncomfortable because it's the right thing to do. It doesn't feel uncomfortable because it's wrong. It feels uncomfortable because it's right. Okay, so have that be something. Awesome, Queen 9. I'm glad that was helpful. That's what me and my spirit team tend to do. That and have horrible jokes, the worst jokes you've ever heard, but for some reason they make me laugh. Yeah, but they're bad all the way around. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this one, and it sounded like that was a good one for you, Sandra. So let's go to Destiny. Are you there? Destiny Herrera, the Virgo. Awesome, Blue Earth. You're coming up after Destiny. If Destiny isn't here, then I'm going to call upon Fate. And if they're not here, I'm going to call upon the Wheel of Fortune. Now, if Destiny isn't here, I'll call upon you, Blue Earth, but I'm waiting here. I'm glad you put a comma there, because if you didn't put a comma there, Queen 9, it would have been no great jokes. But since you put a comma there, it's no great jokes. Appreciate that. The comma makes a huge difference. Thank you a lot. Helps me so much. Awesome, Sandra. I'm glad I could provide that for you. That's what we tend to do on the... I'm just going to say thanks. It's kind of where I'm at. But thank you, Sandra, for coming by and for being insightful. When you guys come on here and you share your experiences, that's awesome, okay? Let's have that be something that we do to know that we're not alone in this, because a lot of times through social media, Instagram, Facebook, if whoever the hell still uses Facebook. But when we do that on those platforms, we never see realness. And when you guys come on here and you're talking about real issues, real problems, real things that you're going through, please understand other people are going through it too. It's just not talked about on those platforms. All right. Hey there, Mr. Mac. Funnily enough, you had to backspace and add the comma to correct your grammar. Enough. Well, you're good. You're good, Queen 9. You're enough. Okay, Blue Earth, does Jaden have sincere feelings and intentions towards you? Let's look at that. Does Jaden have sincere feelings towards Blue Earth? Or is he more of a green Earth kind of guy? We're going to find out. Maybe red Earth. Let's take a look. But yeah, feel free to share your experiences. Okay? Oh, Queen 9's from Fresno too. Good evening, Ivory. How are you doing? Do you guys put your legs, or do you guys put your pants on both legs at a time? Like you just jump in your pants? Because that's how I do it. I've been told I'll trip one day, but so far I've been able to get in them every time. Little bit of olive oil, get myself a little greased up, and then I can just slide right into those leather pants and just go for it. I'll put you on the list here, Mr. Mac. Pop a squat and stay a while. But don't pop that squat too hard because that hurts. It always ends up hurting. Okay. Blue, okay. Does Jaden have sincere intentions towards Blue Earth? Oh yeah, Ivory, yes. I'll put you on the list. Thank you for telling me. You guys got to let me know you want to be on the list. If you just come in and say hello, unless I know that you're, sometimes I forget though, so let me know you want to be on the list. Nothing wrong with speaking up. Alrighty. Jaden's feelings towards Blue Earth. Or Jaden's intentions towards Blue Earth. Okay, so here's what I got. So we have this card here. This is the Page of Swords. I'm going to say... Here's what I'm going to say, all right? If you want to know if someone has sincere intentions, look at the character of the person. Right here, the Page of Swords is saying that we could be dealing with someone who's maybe an overthinker or someone who could be a know-it-all a little bit. Right, he's a friend. So we could be dealing with someone like that. Maybe someone who worries, maybe someone who has tendencies to just be in their head a lot, more cerebral or more that kind of thing. So I'll say... the best thing with these kind of situations to do is to get to know the person better, right? My answer is always going to be that. I know you guys are waiting here and you want a definitive answer. There could be good intentions, right? There could be good intentions, but it's important to look at the character of the person, as we've talked about. You're a worrier. Well, me too. I tend to be very cerebral. That's why my head is so damn huge. The forehead is a little bit bigger than most. And you struggle with anxiety. Me too. I get that. I understand it. I know, Chantel, we got a ghost. So that's what I'm seeing there. A lot of the time, I do psychic work as well, but a lot of the stuff you guys ask, A lot of it's advice, a lot of it's the cards, but a lot of it is psychological things that I've learned. It feels like it. It feels like this person tends to be someone who is more inside the head, has more things that they worry about. They could be prone to overthinking. However, the Page of Swords isn't in reverse, so it seems like a good card to me. I would say I'm not worried about the intentions of the person, but use your own judgment for that. Okay, I always say that. Use your own judgment. But that's what I'm feeling. It feels good to me. He did tell you openly he struggled with anxiety. Good. Good. Usually what that means is that you have someone who is open to talking about emotions and feelings. And I'm telling you right now, it's so much better. Yes, Shatha, you're next. It's so much better to have someone who's open and talks about their feelings, even if it seems like it's a little much, versus someone who's so closed off that it's like trying to open a walnut with your fingernails. You can do it, just takes a real long time. Okay. He seems like a good person, of course, but I'm a bit confused about him. I think he's a bit confused about him as well. Give him space. Let's see what happens. And just let things happen organically. I always say this. Let things happen organically. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, don't take it too personally. That's just, to me, that's the best advice I can give. So, all right, Shatha, what is your question? Hopefully Blue Earth, though, that makes sense. What do I see coming towards you soon? A bus. Watch out. No, that's not what I see. Let's look. What do I see coming towards Shatha soon? All right. What do I see coming towards Shatha soon? It does. Blue Earth, and if you're ever in a situation, okay, I want you guys to remember this. We want to open into a relationship. Okay, I'm sorry, Shatha, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go to your question after this. We want to be open to a relationship, to have it be something that starts out clean. What I mean by that is we don't want to go into a relationship looking to escape the pain that we have felt from other relationships. We want to be as complete as we can be with ourselves and love ourselves very much, and then go into a relationship so that we don't use our partner as a possible way to escape our own reality and pain. When you get in relationships where you're using that person to escape your own pain, it will never work out because you're using them as a crutch to not face your own reality. You need to work through your own issues to kind of get there, right? If you don't feel like you're ready, odds are you're probably not, and that's okay. I know there's a lot of pressure from society to go out there and get some or find the right person or whatever it happens to be, but please take it slow, all right? There is no rush. Society's stupid anyway. Just saying, okay? If I could give society a letter grade, whatever the hell is lower than an F, like a Z minus, I would go out there. I'd do that. All right. Okay, Shatha, what do I see coming towards you soon? All right, who here is a night bird and who is an early owl? Sounded better in my head. I think I said it backwards. Who here is a early night or an owl bird? There we go. I said it right. I said it correctly that time. I myself, I've become more of an early riser as time's gone on. But I used to be a night owl to the extreme, like staying up till, 9 p.m. No, I'd stay up pretty late. Sometimes the sun would come up, and then that's when I would go to sleep. Hello, Mr. Sun, it's time for me to sleep. The sun's a mister, the way I talk about it. So what's coming towards you? We have this, Shatha. We get the Two of Swords in reverse, okay? And I heard the words synthesize. Synthesize, that's going to be something where we're combining, we're working together, we're trying to unionize parts of ourselves. We're trying to make a chemistry with ourselves that we can understand a little bit more. Two of Swords in reverse can be showing us mental confusion around certain things that are going on, right? It's a way for us to be focused on kind of going into the mind and escaping from what's actually going on here. So I feel like what's coming towards you is there's going to be some lessons, especially with Mercury in retrograde, where we're going to be focusing on the things that we struggle with and hopefully finally getting more of a resolution. So whatever it is that we struggle with or we feel personally that we have difficulties with, we may be tested on that, okay? And it's not a pass-fail test kind of situation, all right? If you get 80%, you're going to pass. We got to get that B grade at least, though, okay? But I'm feeling like it's going to be okay. I think things are going to really work out for you. Two of Swords in reverse, though, is like we're not making decisions in the way that we need to, or we could be very indecisive in which direction we want to go. Sometimes we have three choices. People say we only have two choices a lot of the time, right? Yes, the confusion can come to an end, but I'm going to say it like this. Whenever there's two choices, there's actually three. And I'll explain what I mean. And maybe there's four, all right? But let's say if you can go left or you can go right, all right? You're walking down a road, you can go left, you can go right. But there's another option. You can go in the middle, right? Or there's a fourth option where you can literally not take any of those paths, and then you let time choose it for you, and then you have to go down a path. You're kind of forced to go in that direction. So be the person that makes the choice where you get to be as informed as possible and you make your own choices. When you make your own choices, you take life in your own hands, and it becomes something that you get to enjoy. It becomes a pleasure, and it becomes something you feel like you're a part of. But if we let other things make choices for us, then we're never really here. We're never really in this life, right? So it's important for us to feel connected. A lot of times, if there's trauma or if there's other things from when we were younger, we can feel very disconnected from the body, the physical body. But as we get to know ourselves more and more, and we work through the shadow side, which is the parts of the ego, the parts of ourselves that haven't been illuminated because there's a lot of pain surrounding them, once we get to absorb that and we get to understand it, then things become a lot easier for us. And we become more centered and we become like that. For me, that's how it was. Very, very disassociated. But then when I started to open up emotionally and when I started to understand my own emotions, that's when things started to get better for me. So yes, the confusion I feel like can come to an end, but we have to make the active steps to look at the confusion, to try to understand it as best we can. If we're just sitting there waiting for things to happen, it's not going to. We need to take action, whatever that is. And sometimes, as weird as this sounds, sometimes the best action we can take is non-action, but a lot of times the best action we can take is to let things come to us organically and let's see what happens, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Mr. Mac, you're a night owl. I hear you. I wish I could be, but since I've hit my 30s, my 30s have hit back, and they tell me when it's time to go to bed. As soon as my knees give out and my back starts to hurt, it's like it's time for bed. But does that make sense, Shatha? Hopefully you're okay hearing the musings of an old man. Oh. You're very welcome, Shatha. Okay, now we're going to be looking at the next one. All right, Mr. Mac, what are we wondering about, my friend? I'm gonna do this really quick. Okay, what is everyone's favorite animal? Suey Griffin is like, hey to you. He's expression. Yeah. Stewie Griffin is my spirit animal, who I aspire to be. What was I going to say? Yeah, favorite animal. What do you guys think? And what do you guys like as your favorite animal? I want to judge each and every one of you based on your choices. Overall general, Miguel, Angel, 81489. I like the name Miguel Angel. That's a nice name. Let's look though. Overall general for our friend Miguel. So then, I assume your name, Mr. Mac, is Miguel Angel, and then your last name starts with a C. Or one of your names starts with a C, because you did Mr. Mac. All of them are capitalized. I'm assuming those are your initials. If I'm wrong, though, I'm not starting this off very good, but I'm pretty confident. Okay. Ooh, snake. That's a good answer, Mr. Mac. That's a good answer. In my Chinese astrology, I am a snake. Ooh, favorite animal, the humpback whale. They're interesting creatures, aren't they? The snake, though, is really cool. The whale is interesting as whale, right? Did you know hippos? No, wait. Yes. No, wait. Whales came from hippos. Something happened. Whales have legs, but they're like inside their body, and it was an evolutionary trait, and I think hippos are part of the line of whales and stuff. I'd have to look that fact up again, actually. Don't take that. Dolphins and dogs. Okay. Dolphins are smart, dogs are smart. I see. Dog fins would be the best, right? You combine both of them together. I guess that's what a sea otter is, though, isn't it? Ooh, rhinoceros is a good one, too. Awesome. I love learning animal facts, and there's some really interesting ones. I'm going to try and think of some as I'm doing Mr. Mac's reading here. Okay, so what generally does Mr. Mac need to know moving into this situation here? What are we wondering about for Mr. Mac? A general... Yeah, of course. Hey, Ellen, not too long. Right now, there's Ivory's in front of you. I'm reading Mr. Mac, then there's Ivory, and then it would be you, if you're up for it. Again, as long as no paid readings come in. Okay. Alrighty, you'll join the list. You're on the list, Ellen. You are on the list. Okay, so, Mr. Mac, we get the Two of Wands in reverse. No, I'm sorry, Two of Pentacles. I saw the orange, and I got that fever. I got the fever, and I went for it. No, Two of Pentacles in reverse. And it's the same as the Two of Swords in reverse, except it's Pentacles. No, I'm going to go a little deeper than that. So what do you need to know right here is this. If I see the Two of Pentacles in reverse, I'm thinking that we're looking at learning to make decisions that can affect our stability, right? Or we could be looking at the second chakra, which is focused on the sacral. It's a form of expression. It's how we express our passions or how we express our interests. Since this is in reverse, I'm going to say this. The sacral chakra deals with the element of water. Even though this is an earth sign, we're going to bring water into this. And the second chakra is always talking about creative choices, passions. It could be sexual expression, but it's always about passions, sexual expression, creative choices. And it's kind of like making a choice and sticking with it, okay? So that's sort of what we have there. If this is in reverse, sometimes this can lead us to being indecisive in relationships or indecisive in general, because again, if there's a lack of self-knowledge, it becomes something where we start to question things, and because of that, we become indecisive, okay? So if this chakra is out of balance, that's kind of something that can be going on here. The way we balance these chakras is pretty simple. I have a way of doing it that's just kind of like, we can literally, as weird as it sounds, we can look at colors and we can kind of absorb that energy. If we imagine the certain energies coming from those, that can absolutely happen. Hey there, Happy Toby. Yes, I can add you. Thank you so much for being Happy and Toby today. I appreciate it. You're on the list, my friend. But that's what I'm seeing here. So the best thing that we can do is, if we're having difficulties expressing ourselves, we need to find ways that we can make that an easier thing for us. And instead of trying to force ourselves to do something, let's do what it's called chunking, right? As weird as that sounds, what we do is that each and every day we take a very small step towards a goal that we want to accomplish. Instead of having it be this big to-do and this giant monumental thing, let's take little baby steps. Take a goal that you have right now and break it into as small steps as you can, and have that be something that you can focus on accomplishing. A lot of small steps eventually equal miles and miles of distance. So I want you guys to have that be something. Do something that's accumulative rather than doing one big thing, possibly not being able to do it, getting burnt out, and then feeling yourself as a failure or viewing yourself as a failure. Have this be something that you bring into your life in a way that is sustainable, all right? Like I've said, a lot of us have perfectionistic tendencies because of how we were raised. And if we have perfectionistic tendencies, we're going to be someone who, when we fail something, we're going to really berate ourselves for failing it. Other people can do it. Why can't I do it? I'm worthless. I'm this, I'm that. The perfectionistic tendencies we need to set aside. We need to be able to try new things, because the more we do that to ourselves, the more we berate ourselves, the smaller we make our world, and we're no longer able to grow or expand in the ways that we would like to. So that's something that I want to kind of nail home, so to speak. And a lot of us have these tendencies. Again, we don't talk about them in public. We don't talk about them on Facebook, Instagram, or any of the social media things. But on this channel, we can. We can talk about that. How can we do better? What can we focus on to make our lives better? And what areas do we need help in, right? Because there's nothing wrong with needing help. If anything, the fact that you guys are possibly asking for help shows that you're adaptable and you're wanting to learn. And that, to me, is a beautiful thing. So, for 20 minutes, Chantel, we got a 20-minuter. So 20 minutes, ask unlimited questions. I do 3 cards for each question, and we do some rapid fire stuff. So if that's something you guys are interested in, call me now. But if not, I completely understand. So, does that help answer the question for you, Mr. Mac? You know what I really like? And it's weird. Ever since I was a kid, I love Ritz crackers. To a ridiculous extent. Like, I get Ritz crackers. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It's weird, the things that make me happy. The older I get, you give me some Ritz crackers and some nice smelling soap, and I'm set for the day. Okay. Oh, yeah, we are on Ivory. So hopefully that makes sense, Mr. Mac. Ivory Johnson, you said, is Mark lying? You're welcome, Mr. Mac. Thank you for being patient, waiting, and coming to the channel. I appreciate that. And for also responding to the questions. I appreciate when you guys interact with me and people in the chat, because that's how we grow community here, right? All right. So, Ivory says, is Mark lying to you about his daughter being sick? All right. Awesome, Mr. Mac. Perfect. Is Mark lying to you about his daughter being sick? Yes, to you. All right. Is Mark lying to Ivory about his daughter being sick? If it's a yes, I'd say get over that shit immediately. Because if someone fakes their own kid's sickness so that they don't have to do something, that's pretty messed up. I like the winky face. I do. I do it back, but it's a little awkward for me. I can't do the wink. But I can adjust my glasses and then raise my eyebrows. That's how it goes. Okay, so Ivory, let's look here. He's asking you for money. Okay. Give me just a second here, Ivory. For his daughter's medicine, something feels fishy with the energy that I'm getting. I do this visualization where I like see a flower and then I kind of go in a little bit deeper because the flower is like a placeholder object for a psychic image to come out of. And what I saw was there was a flower and then I saw this kind of black mass shooting up, and it felt like this. I do feel like, okay, I do feel like the daughter is sick, but I feel like how much they're asking for feels like it could be too much, because I feel like part of the money is going to go towards something else, but it does feel like it could go towards the medicine. Because I focused on the flower, this black mass popped up. They're going to use some of it for the medicine, but they're going to use some of it for other things as well, is what I'm feeling. So I don't feel like they're lying necessarily, but I also don't feel like they're telling the whole truth about spending it on the daughter specifically. That's the vibe I'm getting. Hopefully that makes sense, Ivory. It would be up to you, like if you would want to do that or not. I'm not feeling like it's super, super nefarious or anything like that. It does feel a teeny bit manipulative. I do feel like the daughter is going through something, but it's not, I don't know. Something feels off with it, but it doesn't feel like evil or anything, you know? How much are they asking for? Maybe that's a crass or not a good question to ask, but you know, $300 versus $20, pretty big difference, or whatever it happens to be. Because in those kinds of situations, I would say if you can easily afford it and you can cover that, $200. Okay. If you can easily afford that and you can cover it and you feel comfortable with the possibility that it's going wherever, once you give them the money to someone, you're basically giving them permission to spend it on whatever they want, technically. So if you're okay with that, do it that way. But that's kind of a lot of money, right? And it's up to you on what you'd want to do with that. 200 is kind of a lot of money. I don't know what medicine, well, I guess there's a few. Yeah, that's up to you, Ivory. If you feel like you can cover that comfortably, go for it. If you feel like it's money that you would be missing, I would say keep it. Okay? It's not being selfish for you to take the money that you have and keep it for yourself. I want you to remember that. If someone is asking for your help, and like I said, you can easily cover it, you can do it, do it. If not, take a step back and really evaluate if it's worth it. He's overseas in Syria. Okay. All right. Have you met Mark before? That's his name, right? Give me 1 second here. I'll be right back. He's in the military. Okay. And like I said, Ivory, have you met this person? I'm basically wondering if you know this person, like you actually know this person. Okay. Okay, you met him 2 years ago online, but you lost contact with the beginning of this month. Okay. I'm going to say this, and maybe it's not the most popular opinion, but if you get to know somebody, you really get to know somebody, it's just hard to trust the online space. It really is. So that one's up to you. I personally wouldn't do it. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that because you don't know. You really don't. You don't know who you're sending it to. Yeah, that's to me, it would be a no. You're coming up, Ellen. What's your question? Yeah. So I would say I don't feel comfortable sending money. I would literally say that. And if they have a problem with that, ditch them, right? Because it's not, this isn't your responsibility to cover for their daughter's medicine. If they're in the military, they should be able to compensate. They should be able to do something, or they should have insurance to take care of the daughter's medicine, right? Something doesn't seem quite right. So I feel like that black mist or that black mass that was shooting off that flower, I would honestly say don't do it. I would. And if the person has a problem with it, then they're showing their true colors. Step away from that. Let's look at that, Ellen. His sister has her. Okay. All right. And how well do you know this person? Like you said, you've met them online. Have you talked with the sister? Have you seen his daughter? Have you FaceTimed with this person? Because those are important things. A lot of the stuff can be fabricated. And I'd hate to be that person who seems cynical, but people have to earn my trust. And yeah, it's okay. So a lot of it sounds just kind of like we really don't know. So I'm going to say, yeah, I'd say step back from that situation. And if someone tries to guilt you into it, you know, it's my daughter's medicine. I don't care if his sister has the daughter. He should still be able to send money. There's things like PayPal, there's Cashapp, there's a bunch of different ways this person could send money. And if they're in the military, they should be able to cover the cost of medicine. That whole story, yeah, it just doesn't line up. You're welcome, Ivory. You're welcome. All right, Ellen, you said you want to know if your best friend who you fell out with, will she forgive you, and will you be friends again? Let's look. Okay. Will you be friends with, okay. Will you be friends with this person that you fell out with? Hey, Trixie. It's not looking very likely right now, because Ace of Pentacles in reverse to me is saying, I would leave this alone at this point in time. Because it's like it's not a growing opportunity. Ace of Pentacles, any of the Ace cards are very powerful cards. If I see it in reverse, there's significant obstacles blocking this from growing. And literally, you're seeing this growing, it's taking root, it's getting ready to grow. But in reverse, it's like there's nothing there at this point in time that this can grow into. It feels like something that happened just kind of made it a really difficult situation. And so trying to be together with this person or trying to start that up again, it's not going to feel like it's an organic thing. It's going to feel contrived and kind of forced. I'm going to say it, like I said, at this point in time, I'm not feeling like there's going to be that. You may talk to this person, you may become acquaintances again. It doesn't feel like it's going to turn into anything more than that, again, at this point in time. But let's see what life has to offer, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. But that's what I've got for you, Ellen. Okay. You agree, you feel like it's going to take a while. Yeah. You stopped communicating to her. There's other ways we can spend our energy. You're very welcome, Ellen. Happy to see you here again. And also, speaking about being happy, Happy Toby, what is your question? I hope you're the happiest and the Tobiest you've ever been, because we're going to go into it here. Robert, my King Leo friend. Yes, we can totally do that, my friend. Let's do this here. How's it going, Robert? It's been a minute since I've seen you. I believe in you, Ellen. Go for it. Finish that work, whatever it is. For me, it's a lot of work to eat ice cream, but I do it. I eat the ice cream. All right, you're on the list. You're going to come up right after Happy Toby, who I'm reading right now, King Leo. And there's Nessa. I'll put you after Robert. You're about 2 people down on the list, Nessa, so stick tight. Hang tight. I don't know. Something. Yes, Nessa, you're on the list. All right, can you tell me what ETA feels about you? Thank you very much, Nessa. Yeah, if you guys can like the video, I'd appreciate it. You can also hit the bell icon and make sure you get notified every time that I'm live so that you can ignore it and then watch something else. But you're welcome to do just that. Okay. Thank you, Happy Toby. Very kind of you. I appreciate that, my friend. Oh, itchy nose. Okay. Can I tell you the ETA? Okay, can I tell you what ETA... Let's look at that. What does ETA feel about Toby? The Tobster. All right, here we go. All right, so here's what I've got, Toby. ETA, which by the way is estimated time of arrival. It's interesting that it's ETA. But anyway, we have the 4 of Swords right here, and you'll see it's a person, they're resting, and there's a heart next to them. But they're not necessarily directly connected, but there's a little strand connecting these two together. How do they feel about you? It feels like things are starting to move into a direction where maybe something possibly could perhaps happen. And the reason I'm using so many, of those kinds of words is because it still feels pretty premature for anything significant to happen. But again, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It feels like there's something going on. It does feel like there's something going on, but it feels like it's still a process. It feels like there's still things in the works. And because it's such a tentative, kind of tender place right now, it could go either way. But if you let things happen organically, if this person doesn't show you what's up, another person will. Just let things happen organically and see where that goes. Because that's the way that you can tell if the person's actually into you or not. If you're forcing something, not saying you are, but if you're forcing something, it always comes back to bite you in the ass. Okay? Some people like to be bit in the ass. I'm not one of them. Okay? I'm not into that stuff. If you're into that, though, that's fine. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. So hopefully that helps you with that. Okay. King Leo, Robert. What was your question? And then Nessa, you're up next. You're very welcome, Happy Toby. I wish you the best in that, my friend, and good luck to you. What is coming your way in general? Let's look at that. What is coming Robert's way in general? For the best quotes you can get online, go to the general and save some time. William Shakespeare said that. And he was a weird dude, but he knew how to save on car insurance. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Ugh. What's coming Robert's way? What is coming Robert's way? Ah, okay. Okay. Let's move into this space here. Opportunities will present themselves to you, Robert, but you have to be willing and ready to work as a team. Okay? Three of Pentacles. I feel like, Robert, I feel like you're an agreeable person. I feel like you're someone easy to get along with, but maybe there can be difficulty working with others in more of a setting that's like not productive, but I feel like you're a very nice person, but maybe when it does come to the active part, like doing the thing, it can be a little bit harder for you to get started, right? When I see the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it's saying that if we can work with other people or maybe put responsibilities onto other people's shoulders instead of doing it all ourselves, that would be something. You have social anxiety bit, okay. So that would be something that would help you tremendously. But you have to learn how to delegate. I feel like you want to be this person that has leadership qualities, and delegation, telling people what you would want, how you would want it done, is a really good way to develop those qualities. I feel like you're very responsible. I feel like you're a respectable person. But when it comes to the delegation, when it comes to the action part of you is still very timid. But it's not something that is just who you are as a person. I feel like these kinds of behaviors can change over time, but you have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone. And you have to be willing to try new things. Worst thing that can happen is someone says, what are you talking about? Don't be a weirdo, but we'll survive regardless. And I just want you to know that that's kind of what I'm seeing there. True, you want to be a leader, so you've been trying to get rid of your social anxiety so you can flourish. Yes, I've sensed that in you. You have those qualities. You have those qualities in the making, but it's kind of like you're in an egg right now. You're not yet ready to hatch, but you're getting closer and closer. And the best thing you can do for leadership qualities is you have to put yourself out there. We can't be leaders if we just stay inside all the time. We don't put ourselves out there and we don't try new things. A really good leader is someone who's innovative, someone who's on the edge of, just right there. They're right there, whatever they need to do. They understand concepts. They understand what's going on. And a leader isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. And a leader is also not afraid to uplift other people, to help them also become leaders in the process. And I feel like, Robert, that's where I see you in the distant, distant future, is someone who's teaching people to be teachers or someone who's teaching people to be healers. But it's like your leadership qualities can inspire other people to also be leaders. That's what I feel like would be your main calling, your main goal. And I feel like you just have to get out there. You just have to kind of get your hands dirty. Okay? So does that resonate with you, Robert? Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. It was hard for me too at first. The first video I made, I've now made over 500 videos, but the first video I made, super hard for me to do. And up until like the 100th, it took me a really long time to be comfortable in front of the camera. And now I can't shut up around it. So yeah, highly resonates. Awesome, my friend. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So Nessa, what have you got for me, my friend? He reminds me of the Pokemon gym leader in Sword and Shield. Nessa. . If you reach out to Hyro, would it end up in a good way? All right, we can do that. All right, the Nestor is wondering what's going on. Okay, Nessa is short for Vanessa. That's what it is. Or maybe it's something else, but it's like that's half of your name right there. Or close to half of. Indeed. Ah, yes. It'd be like if I called myself Ants, you know. Get rid of the CH, get that bullshit out of there. You're getting rid of the VA. I hear you. Hey there, Roberto. How are you doing, my friend? I can put you on the list here. Alrighty. Roberto. I'm sure your last name is beautiful, my friend. If there's the squiggly line above a letter, my mind immediately doesn't understand it. Yes, Rio, I can add you. I will just call you Roberto. Oh, thank you, Roberto. That's very nice. Very sweet. I appreciate that, my friend. Awesome. Okay, good. 'Cause you don't want to hear, you don't want to hear me mispronounce it, because and you can tell me what it is. You can tell me what it is, but in 5 minutes I'm going to be like, you know. Always been awful with names. I hate that. I hate it. At least your name's Roberto. I know that's Robert with an O, so I can pronounce that. Okay. Let's move on here. Alrighty, so Nessa is wondering if they reached out to Hyro. If it would end up in a good way. Let's look at this here. If Nessa reached out to Hyro, would it be in a good way? Give me 1 second. It felt like I had an impression come in, and then it felt like it was going to leave. Oh no, okay, here it is. Here we go, that's what we're going to do. Okay, it was an Irish impression, not a psychic one. Sorry about that. We have this card here. We have the Fool in reverse. Okay. When I see this card, when I see the Fool in reverse, it's making me think like there could be significant blockages in the connection. It sounds to me like you're eager to do something, you're eager to reach out or try something, but it feels like there could be blocks around this person. It could maybe be in their personal life. But it just feels like right now wouldn't be a good time to reach out. Feel free to do whatever it is that you want to do, but something feels like it's off with reaching out at this point in time. Maybe wait a little bit, kind of see what's going on if you can, and wait just a little bit, because something to me feels like we need to slow down our horses, so to speak. That being said, though, depending on the reasons you want to reach out to this person or talk to them, that's going to be important too. If it's with feelings of love or feelings like romantic feelings, it's kind of something that needs to be an organic thing, right? And if there's any way that you could reach out to the person in a way that's kind of more, let's say, timid, more like subtle, I would say try that and see where it's going to go. But don't expect anything from this connection, especially at this point in time. But it wouldn't be bad to possibly get your foot in the door. I don't feel like it would end up badly, but it just feels to me like it's not going to be necessarily what you would be wanting at this point in time. But anything worth wanting or anything worth having is worth waiting for. However, I'm going to say this. As soon as I say that, don't wait around for anybody either. Have this person be a friend, possibly, or an acquaintance, and then move on to other options if you're feeling like things aren't possibly working out with this person. Don't ever put all your eggs in one basket in this situation here. I want you to really make sure this is what you want, and then go after whatever it is that you need to do. But always be open to options until we feel like we know what it is that we want. In a friend, in a person, relationships, yeah. You just miss him, just wanted to hang out for, like friends-wise. Okay. Okay, if you just want to do friends, I could kind of see that being something. He's a busy person. He has his own business. So he's a busyness person. That's awesome. Thank you, Robert. I just got a donation from our Roberto friend. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm going to put your name down here, and you're going to be the next person I read. You're very welcome, Nessa. Okay, Robert, what are we curious about, my friend? Thank you so much for the donation, too. Do we have anything we are curious or wondering about? Maybe you want to ask me what my favorite colors are, Robert, and I'm going to tell you, kind of like these ones. I have these, this on my screen. I like blue, and it's like a light sky blue mixed with, or like a teal color mixed with like a blood red color, or like a rusty red. Those two colors together, chef's kiss for me. Beautiful colors. Kind of like that color down there. That's the $6.99 one-time frame question. Anyway, I love those colors together. First off, Roberto, Reiki it's powerful stuff, right? I'm a Reiki master, but I'm a little out of practice. And what I mean by that is I'm a lot out of practice. But I know that when I'm feeling, right when you came into the chat, right as you're talking to me, I get a good sense from you. And the best thing that a Reiki person can have, if that's something you want to do is be a Reiki master, is you have to be able to be compassionate and be empathic to the people that you're serving. You have to be able to make a sacred space where people can feel comfortable and feel like they're taken care of. And I feel like Roberto, that's a really good step that you're taking here. I'm going to draw some cards though, and we're going to look at that. But you're already doing a really good job. Always remember that being compassionate, so glad you're alive. Okay, I thought you said so glad you're alive, and I was thinking, what the hell happened? But yes, thank you. Thank you, 17. I'm glad I'm alive too. The internet's been acting shitty, so. So providing that sense of comfort, providing that sense of security, that's something we can talk about. Actually, let me do this for you, Robert, because this makes it so you can go back and you can find the reading. So let me do this. There we go. I like the way Roberto looks because it all links together. The way it looks, I like the way it looks. Okay, anyway. So we're talking about this, and as I'm tuning into your energy, Robert, it's like Roberto. I'm going to call you Rob, because then it works out for everybody. I'm shortening your name down to a point where it's understandable, but I'm not missing the context of it being a different name. So I'm just going to call you Rob. It works better for me. Okay. So, and hey there, Annie. So I'm getting, I'll put you down on the list here, Annie. I'm getting a feeling of someone who gets it with the empathic side. So you're someone who's clairsentient, you're someone who feels, maybe you even feel things in your body that's pain, and you can trace it and follow it back to its source. The best thing to do with Reiki, just because I do energy healing too, is we want to be as relaxed as possible and realize that, and a lot of people do this at first, I'm not saying you're doing this, but let your body relax and go with the flow as much as possible. Well, thank you very much, Annie. That's very kind of you. But being in the flow state is going to be really important for you, and letting go and relaxing your muscles, relaxing your body completely, and letting the energy take its course where it needs to go is going to be helpful. Reiki is more hands-on, and it's more about going out and doing the work. But sometimes it's really important to realize that the best thing that we can do for someone else is just hold space for them and allow the energy to work its course the way it needs to. Sometimes with Reiki, it can be a bit not forceful, but it can be a bit kind of a lot for somebody to handle. It's always important to kind of ask the person in your mind, if you want to take this energy, take it gradually and have it be something that your body can absorb over time. That way it's a slow acclimating process for the person to absorb that energy and welcome healing into their life. A lot of times people will say that they want healing, but really what they want is someone that they can talk with, or someone that they can be with. And sometimes people are so attached to their own pain that they have identified themselves so strongly with it that they don't even want to have the cure. They just kind of want to talk about that they're in pain and they're feeling this and that. And so it's important to realize that your energy is working, but with some people don't want to get better, right? Again, though, that's just something I've come across on my own. So you're trying to astral travel, Annie. When we get to you, we can talk about that. We have a few people in front of you, but nothing too big. But is that making sense, Roberto? Told you I'd call you Rob, but I pulled one out on you. We'll draw some cards too. I just wanted to kind of preface. Okay, so Annie, there should be a link. Coco's just posted the link up there, up in the chat. You should be able to do that. There's also a link in the description. There's also Super Chat that you can donate through. There's a few ways you can donate, but Coco just posted the way you can donate there. And I have a few options for donations. Yeah, so I actually haven't added the newest option down into my stuff there, but okay, good, Robert. That's making sense. Here we go. So is Rob on the right path towards using and understanding the ability of being a Reiki practitioner? Hey there, Manuel. Thank you for the subscription, my friend. Super, super appreciated. And I'll be talking to you, I imagine, in probably 10 minutes. Okay. Alrighty, I'm seeing a little chip in the armor already that we can talk about here. Okay. Yep, okay, absolutely. Alrighty, so this is something I've struggled with myself, and to this day I still struggle with it. Okay. If we do energy work on somebody, and again, it is not working, that does not mean you didn't do well enough. I want to put that out of your mind, Rob, as much as possible, because when we're doing this kind of work, it's not about trying to do it perfectly or trying to do it right. Then it becomes an ego thing. And as soon as we step into the ego when we're doing this kind of work, we've lost it completely, because it isn't about us. Okay, as soon as you say, did I do well enough? Did I do this? Did I do that? You're making it about you. You're making it about your ego. If you did it, then you did good enough. Okay, if the person feels it or they don't, that is not a reflection of your abilities. That is how that person their body tends to operate. Okay, certain people are going to resonate better with certain other people. Again, doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong. It just means that that's kind of something I'm seeing there, because I get the strength card. Okay, Annie, we can do that for you. Thank you so much for the donation. So you'll be after Robert here. Like this. And if this is the goal that you want, Robert, because we get the Strength card, okay? This is you being strong, keeping up appearances. Yeah, so Annie, you'll be right after Rob, who I'm reading now. Just wanted to make that clear. So we have the Strength card. We have the Page of Swords in reverse, which to me, it can be overthinking. It can be wanting to do something so well, so perfect, that if it doesn't go the way we planned it, then it's not working. I'm going to tell you right now, energy never goes the way we plan. It never goes the way we plan, and the more we try to force it, the more we try to control it, we're missing the point of it, right? We don't control the way the lightning hits the earth. We don't control the way the waves are in the ocean, but we do control how we handle certain things. And with this kind of energy here, it's really important to realize that a relaxed approach is going to be the best approach. Okay. All right. We have the Two of Wands in reverse. Okay. The Fool card in reverse. And then we have the King of Wands in reverse. Okay. This is showing to me, Robert, that there can be some, yes, I tend to dive deep into every detail, overanalyzing. Okay, so that's what I was going to say. When we see the Two of Wands in reverse, and you know what, I'm going to say this, people that overanalyze usually also overcare. They're worriers, they care too much, but it comes across as a way of like not being able to control those kinds of emotions or actions. A lot of times people that worry too much, I am one of them, we can't control the worry. Someone telling us to stop worrying really doesn't help the situation. So the advice I'm going to give you, Rob, is to stop worrying. No. Here's what I got. We got Two of Wands in reverse. Okay? Needing to make a choice. Needing to follow through with something. And the best thing that you can do when we have this kind of thing is, it sounds like this is something you want to have happen. No doubt about that at all. But if we're in a place where we're really scrutinizing it, we're really trying to focus on that, again, we're getting lost in the muck and the mire. We're getting lost in the ego side of energetic work, right? I'm doing good, Eat, Pray, Love. How are you doing? And it's easy to go into that place, Robert. It's easy to think that someone else has abilities that we don't, or it's easy to think that this, or that, the other, whatever. Okay? Again, not about that. It is not about that. And the reason why I'm stressing that so much is because that was a lesson that took me the longest time to learn, and I still struggle with it. There's a feeling of like, I have to do everything. I need to impress this person. I have to make sure they feel something. I have to make sure blah, 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 blah. Okay, no. You send the energy, that's it. You are a vessel for the energy to go through. That is it. What does a vessel do? Just like how a jar holds water, you hold energy, and the intent comes through and it works its magic. But that's what we are in this case. We are a vessel to which the energy flows through. And in that case right there, we can manipulate the energy a little bit. We can change things here and there a teeny bit. But ultimately speaking, whatever is poured into us is not our call. A lot of it is allowing energies to come in to work for us and to let go of that process. And you're a good person. I don't think that you're not. But there's parts of you that are very timid, or there's parts of you that are very like, you know what you want to do, but maybe it's hard for you to assert yourself in those directions. It's hard for you to be assertive, or it's hard for you to go in a direction that would possibly be beneficial to you. Even though this is what you want to do, there's parts of this that are hard for you to get over. And that's normal. Okay, this is what you're passionate about, because then we have the King of Wands in reverse, and we have the Fool. Okay? These two cards right here, King of Wands in reverse and the Fool in reverse, wanting to start something that we're passionate about, wanting to do something, but there's this thing where we can be scared of our own power, we can be scared of our own greatness, and it sounds ridiculous, but the fear of failure and the fear of success both come from the fear of change. And there can be this thing of like, the hell I know is better than the one I don't. And what that means is that sometimes if we feel like we failed in life, we feel like, well, I know what failure feels like, I'm going to stay doing this. I don't know what it would possibly mean to be successful or to have these kinds of abilities or these kinds of responsibilities. And to me, it sounds like a lot, right? To make this go from being a daydream into something that's real is that you need to do the work and you need to put yourself out there little by little, okay? It's not about forcing ourselves out there. It's not about cracking open the door with a foot and just busting in and saying, FBI, you're arrested. You say, for what? And it's, you know, parking tickets, lots of parking tickets, Rob. You need to pay those. But that's kind of the situation I'm talking about here. So what I'm seeing here is that your sense of a self-expression, although I feel like it's very positive and it's a very powerful thing, you keep your light mostly to yourself, even though you have so much that you can give. You do help people when you can. I don't feel like you don't. I feel like you're a very generous person, but you hide away parts of yourself that could be so beneficial for other people. You hide away your light, and other people don't get to experience that. And in a way, that's kind of selfish, but I also get that there can be reasons why we do that, right? It's not that you're a bad person. When I say selfish, it's just like you have so much to give, and I just want you to know that. Does that make sense, Roberto? Oh. Think about that, Robert, for just a sec. You're probably typing something now. I'm going to be right back. So give me 1 second. I'm coming right back. But feel free to type anything that you're feeling. I'll be back. Yeah. Where? I know. Okay. All right. Shoot. Can you guys hear me and see me okay? I hope you can. I hope I haven't just been talking to the air. Yes, Jason, I can put you on the list here. We have one more paid reading after this, and then we're good. Hey, Arcana, how are you doing? Ugh. Ugh. I'll put you on the list as well here. There we go. I'll let you know, Arcana. There's a few people ahead of you, so you'll just have to wait your turn, my friend. Okay, well, the reading is still out there. I'm going to go to the next reading here just to start it. So let's do that. Annie, are you there? There's a lot of the screen that was under the... Anyway. I'll wait just a minute here until Annie comes back, and if not, I'll just go to the free list and do the free readings really quick, and then go back to Annie. Okay, so let's do this then really quick. Rio, are you still there? Rio or 17? Hey, Angela, how's it going? It's been a minute, hasn't it? Haven't seen you on here in a very long... Yeah, it's been a minute. Hopefully everything's going well. Hanging in there. Okay, well, that's good. Okay, Rio or 17, are you guys there? So I got these ones here for you. Take a look at these prices here. Angela? Okay, and Annie's there. Perfect. Okay, so Annie's reading is coming up next, and then it would be your turn, Angela, if you want to do that. But those are the prices that I've got, so decide what you would feel comfortable with, and we can go from there. Okay, Annie, so what are we wondering about here? Oh. Hey, soloist, how are you doing? Thank you for coming to the channel, my friend. I'll put you on the free list here. It'll be just a minute, but trust me, I think we can get you some answers. Okay, so maybe you're typing something, Annie, but let me know kind of where you're wanting to go with this. If there's anything specific. You're very welcome, Soloist. Oh, you're trying to astral travel. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's do this. Okay, this is a topic I know a ton about. This is it. I'm going to say it like this, just so you can correct that. It's astral. It's astral travel, not astro travel. Just, to start out saying it that way. Because people will be like, what's astro travel? So astral travel is when we go beyond the physical. Okay. So you paid for 2. So let's talk about astral travel, and then we'll do anything general. And then we can do that. So let's do that. All right. So astral travel is going to be this. It's called astral travel, or it's called astral projection, right? Those are the names that it goes by. And generally speaking, the theory of astral projection, and I'm using the words theory here because even though it is a skill and it's something you can develop, a lot of stuff is still kind of unknown. It's in that realm of like, what's real, what isn't. But I do believe it's very real. I do believe it's an ability we can cultivate. And the best way we can go about doing this is, so there's a few different ways you can develop it. One way is if you have a dream and then you become lucid in the dream and then you break out of kind of that dream reality and you move into the astral realm that way. That's one way you can do it, but you have to become lucid in the dream and you have to know kind of how to navigate to get out of the dream world. The other way is basically willing ourselves to do it, right? And what this would be is you lay down, make sure you're awake enough that you're not going to fall asleep. But it's not the end of the world if you fall asleep, if you needed to sleep, But here's kind of what we do. So you lay down on a bed or a couch or wherever you feel comfortable, and you go up your body, starting with your toes, and you go up your body up until, and you relax each set of muscles. Okay, so you start with your toes, and you flex them, and then you release. You go to your ankles, you flex your ankles, and then you release. And then you keep going up your body further and further, and you keep tensing the muscles and releasing the muscles. And this puts you into a deeper state of relaxation that makes it so that it's possible for you to hit that astral travel frequency a little bit easier. After you go into that state where your body is feeling relaxed, some people have this, some people don't, but there's going to be a buzzing that happens or that transpires. It's like a vibration feeling that you get in your body, and it feels like you're buzzing from the inside. It feels like a bumblebee is swimming in your stomach, kind of a feeling. It's like your whole aura, your whole body, it sort of feels like it's trembling, but it's like this buzzing feeling. It doesn't feel scary. It just feels kind of intense at times. Some people hear the buzzing, some people don't. Some people just go out of body without hearing the buzzing, but generally the buzzing is used as like a transition, right? Like when you're changing radio stations in the old, you turn the dial, you change the radio station. In between those radio stations, there's no frequency, but then when you get to another frequency, then that kind of tunes in. That's kind of what we're talking about there. When you're getting ready to astral travel, that buzzing feeling is the transitional state right before you hit the outside of the body, right before that happens. Sometimes when people are getting ready to astral travel, you have the buzzing sensation, sometimes you don't. But another thing is that sometimes there can be what's called a guardian or a gatekeeper kind of situation. And what this energy does is it's basically asking you if this is something that you're ready to do, if this is something that you're wanting to do. A lot of times when we're getting ready to astral project, we could suddenly hear a loud noise, or we could suddenly be taken off guard. For me, it was pots and pans. All the pots and pans in my kitchen just falling out of the cupboard scared the hell out of me. I go in the kitchen, nothing's there. Absolutely nothing's going on. It's because I was getting close to projecting, and it's sort of like to see if you're ready, to see if you're going to be distracted. And if you wake up and you flinch from the sounds, that's going to be something that's going to do that. And so that's what I'm seeing there. Good, Rob. I'm glad that the reading resonated, and hopefully you can kind of see the path that you can go on there. And you're just fine taking the call and doing all that. I get it. So don't worry about that at all. No need to apologize. So there will be a guardian sound or something that we hear, and it can bring us out of the trance-like state that we're kind of getting into. We're getting ready to leave our body, and because we're getting ready to transfer consciousness from the inside of the body to the outside, there is kind of a threshold that we have to go through. And again, sometimes you hear the sound, sometimes you don't. But if you do hear the sound, if we don't get distracted by that, then what starts to happen is the body starts to become paralyzed, right? When we go into a sleep state, the body paralyzes itself so we don't act out our dreams in reality. Some people still kind of flinch and flail and all that stuff. But generally speaking, our body becomes paralyzed when we're sleeping so that we don't act out what's going on in our dreams. Now, after we've hit that spot where our body, basically we want the mind awake, we want the body asleep, okay? After we hit that spot, we're going to be going into a place of being completely and totally relaxed. And a lot of times what can happen is that we're getting close to projecting. And for me, it's like the heart starts to beat really fast, okay? And you can feel your heartbeat. Again, breathing exercises, calming yourself down as much as you can. Basically get used to this state that I'm talking about right here. It usually doesn't happen the first, second, or third time, but over time, if you keep practicing, it does happen, but it takes effort, it takes consistency, and it's not something that you just develop on a whim, usually. Some people have spontaneous experiences and they can cultivate it that way, but most of the time it's a skill you have to practice at. That's one way that you can do it. Or there's three ways primarily that I can think of. One way is the dream method and becoming lucid and then being able to break out of that dream reality and go into the astral realm. The other way is what I just described, basically relaxing your body completely, entering into that buzzing state. Body becomes paralyzed. Mind is still awake, though. You're not sleeping, but your body thinks you're sleeping. And because we astral travel every night when we fall asleep, but we don't really remember it when we wake up, that's the reason why when you get into the paralyzed state, you're getting really close to projecting, because your body is saying, okay, I'm shutting down all the resources, and then your consciousness can focus on getting out, okay? Some people see a silver cord, some people don't, but a lot of people talk about the silver cord. If you see it or if you don't, that's just how it goes. It doesn't mean it's wrong or it's right. Just people see it, some people don't. When you're out of body, you are not going to get possessed. Nothing else is going to take your body. That's not something that happens. You are protected. So don't worry about anything trying to come in, trying to mess up your business. It's not going to happen. There's been a lot of Hollywood movies and a lot of things like that that talk about those things happening. It's just Hollywood trying to scare us. It's not actually something that happens. Now, let's talk about this. So the third way, primarily, that you can do this is you have the hypnagogic and the hypnomorphic state, okay? The hypnagogic state is going to be a state that you're half asleep, half awake. And what this means is that you're, and I may have these two backwards, but anyway, hypnagogic, if I can remember right, is where you're almost asleep, but you're still awake. You're like in between waking and sleeping, right? So, now let me think here. No, hypnagogic is when you're asleep, is when you're getting ready to fall asleep, but you're not asleep yet. And that in that state, that's a way that we can project. So it's still the same thing. That's still the same thing that I'm talking about with relaxing yourself. You enter the hypnagogic state, you're able to get out of the body. Body's paralyzed. The buzzing sensations may or may not happen. The guardian of the gate kind of thing, the gatekeeper. But the other sleep state is the hypnomorphic. And what this is it's the state between sleeping and being awake. So it's the opposite of the other one. And what that means is that when we wake up in the morning, feeling like P. Diddy or not, but when we wake up in the morning, we have an option to allow ourselves to still have our eyes closed. We wake up, we keep our eyes closed while we're waking up, and we can enter into that astral projection state easily. We can also fall back asleep easily too, but it can be a really good place for us to springboard into astral projection because we're awake, but we're still in that kind of realm of like sleeping, being awake. So it's a really good kind of middle ground to enter, to focus on. But does that answer that question for you, Annie? Jeez. That ran down the epiglottis. The wrong tube, basically. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe you're typing right now, but that's kind of the area I was talking about. Hello, Elizabeth. How are you doing? Oh, and Elizabeth, in case you're wondering, I have a new option here. In the future, Elizabeth, you don't have to do this today if you're just stopping in to say hello, but I've got the 20 minutes Ask Unlimited questions. So for 20 minutes, I'll answer questions. I pull 3 cards for each question, and generally we can get like 5 or 6 questions off, maybe 4 to 5. But if that's ever something you're wanting to do, I'm just saying there's options here. But yeah, so I'll put this back up, but how are you doing today, Elizabeth? Guys, no. No. You both can look out the window. Okay? You pretty little things. Oh, you remember that. All right, I'm doing good. And that answers Annie's first question, and you came to a big realization. That's awesome. That's awesome, Elizabeth. Those epiphany moments are what it's all about. So now I'm going to draw some cards for Annie here, and we'll focus on what you can do. Anything general, feeling by yourself and you don't like it. So what can we focus on, or what can Annie focus on in this time to get things going better? Let's see. All right. There's a delay. Okay. Try refreshing it, Annie. I can't do anything if there's a delay. Maybe you can hit that refresh button and keep up here. If that's an option. Okay. But you also have the option of going back, Annie, and rewatching this, because I have your name right there. So if for some reason you miss parts of it, you can go back and listen to it again. Oh, that's cool, Elizabeth. That's really cool. Hopefully that brings her contentment, Hopefully that helps her, but that's really cool. Awesome. You want to help people feel less fear. That's a really good thing. That's a really good thing. And learning to hold space for people, Elizabeth, is going to be one of the best things you can do. And I feel like you'd be really good at that. I definitely feel like you'd be really good at that. Okay, let's focus. Let me do this for Annie. But still feel free to talk, Elizabeth. I'll be looking at that here. Hey, Chanel. Yes, I can put you on the list here. You're very welcome, Elizabeth. All right, and I'm going to do this just so that we've got enough time. And what this means is that I'll just be accepting paid readings from now on. Chanel, you got in before I'm doing this, but anyone else coming on here, I'm going to do it this way. And then, of course, I have to do this. There we go. I get a little bit shorter each and every live. All right. What does Annie need to know right now that can help in these times? Okay, Annie, this is interesting. The very first card we get is going to be the Lovers, right here. Now, I'm not going to view this as, because we have other cards here, so I'm not viewing it as like a relationship coming in. If your life is in a situation where you're feeling lonely and that kind of thing, if a relationship can be very distracting. Yes, it can take away the loneliness, but sometimes we use relationships to escape into, and we don't focus on building up the self or working on the self. We focus on putting all of our resources into a possible partner instead of working on our own self-growth. And so that makes it kind of difficult in that situation. I see the Lovers here and I see the Two of Swords in reverse. I feel like there's a struggle here with, loving yourself or focusing on those kinds of feelings because, it could definitely be your upbringing, but it could also just be that this is something like that's difficult for you. It feels to me like you try your best to do this, and it feels like you've made some progress here, but it also feels like there's a lot of times where you're very hard on yourself, and you don't feel like you're doing enough, or you don't feel like what you're doing is enough, I guess would be the way I would put that. But you are doing enough, and it's society's way of making us think that we're not doing enough that puts that anxiety in us. But nobody isn't doing enough. Anybody that's living life right here and right now, they're all trying their best. They're all trying to do what they think is right. Whether it is actually right or wrong, that's left up to the universe, but people are trying their best, and there isn't an ultimate goal to reach other than just being at peace and having love for yourself, which in turn can turn into love for other people, because a lot of times when there isn't self-love, generally there's a lack of trust. Generally, there's a lack of I don't love myself, so it's hard for me to fully commit to another person, not because you don't want to, but because there's fear, possibly around intimacy or possibly around that kind of expression. And when there's fear in those areas, it makes it difficult to connect with people in a more meaningful way. It's kind of like we put a wall up, and we want to break out of that wall. We don't know how to, but there's things that need to be done here. And I'm going to say this, it's not just going to be this kind of reading that I'm talking about here. If because I'm currently seeing one myself, if therapy is an option you feel like you can do, I would highly recommend it to talk about these kinds of issues. I know that can be a scary process. Like I said, I'm in therapy as well. When you're doing this kind of work and learning how to do this, you need to have someone to help you navigate. And I feel like I can talk about this stuff, but actually helping you follow through with it, a therapist would be a ton more qualified than I would be. Because these seem like these are deeper emotions, okay? And I just want to throw that out there, that there's nothing, some people can afford therapy, some people can't, so I don't want to have that be the only option for you. We're going to keep talking, but let's look at this. So then we have Temperance, okay? We have Ten of Wands in reverse. And we have the Strength card. This to me is showing that you have resiliency. In fact, all of the major arcana are upright. The only two cards that are in reverse are the Two of Swords in reverse and the Ten of Wands in reverse. And the Ten of Wands is a difficult card regardless. There's a lot of obstacles with the Ten of Wands, but it's getting ready to enter into a new phase of your life, but it's going to require strength on your end. And a lot of times when I'm talking about strength, I'm talking about the strength to be vulnerable, because vulnerability is not a weakness. Depending on where we grew up or how we grew up, we are told that we are vulnerable, and then we are hit in the stomach by the universe in some way, and then we say never again, right? And over time, more and more of those experiences happen, and it becomes more and more difficult for us to be open, for us to be trusting, for us to let ourselves experience the world without having a spiritual barrier. A lot of times it's not our fault, okay? But what happens is this. If someone goes into my room, let's say my mom went into my room, she took everything in my room, knocked it on the floor, and she left my room a mess. And then I put my head out the door and I say, Mom, you need to clean this up. You made a mess in here. And she says, no, I'm not going to do it. Then it's up to me, even though I didn't make the mess, it's up to me to clean it up. It's up to me to look at this and say, you know what, I care enough about myself. I love myself enough that I want to work through this. I want this to be something I work through, right? Because when we develop that self-connection and it's very strong, what happens is we become our own best friend. As cheesy as that sounds, and I know it sounds cheesy. I know it sounds like a grilled cheesy sandwich. I'm getting hungry. But that's kind of where I'm focusing on here. But it's important to have that connection because then every other connection stems from that. When we understand the self, every other connection makes a lot more sense, and our emotional guidance system is right on cue. It's right on track to where it needs to be, and we're not questioning ourselves as much or our own sense of self-judgment, right? Because what happens is we feel like we make these big mistakes, and we feel like we keep attracting the same people, the same situations in our life, and it becomes harder and harder for us to see that we can change things, right? Sometimes we become a victim of this kind of way of thinking, and it's really hard for us to focus on changing, but it's absolutely possible for us to change. We just have to want that. And something that I would recommend, I have a few people, in fact, I'll do this. There's a book in the description called Healing the Mother Wound, okay? That's a good book. And again, you can look in the description for this. And Emotional Education also is a good book. By Alain de Botton is his name. It's a yellow book. You'll know it when you see it. And then we have these people that are on YouTube. We have Lisa Romano, okay? We have Dr. Romani. And then we have this one here. This is Crappy Childhood Fairy. And I know that name is interesting, but she goes into stuff in a way that is amazing. And it's kind of like ripping the Band-Aid off quickly and then talking to you like you're an adult, you know, like you have some healing to do, but like you're an adult. A lot of times people talk to others like they are kind of stupid. I don't like that approach at all. Lisa Romano, Dr. Romani, and Crappy Childhood Fairy, they talk about things in a very real way. They talk about relationships. They talk about, you know, how things were when we were a child. They talk about these kinds of issues. And there's tons of ways that you can dive in, and you can start learning emotional understanding in a new way so that you can understand and appreciate and trust yourself in the future. Because there's a lot of gaps in knowledge if we've been traumatized, and that's not your fault. But it's our duty to fix it. It's our duty to unlearn the things that are no longer useful and focus on new things, and being emotionally regulated and understanding what that looks like, what that feels like. That's going to be something that helps us all tremendously. Does that make sense, Annie? I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll just wait. Hey, Nina, how's it going? Just saying hi. Well, hello, Nina. Hopefully you had a good Thursday. Weekdays are weird, right? Wednesday. That was yesterday. I guess yesterday is the 8th day of the week, isn't it? Because everything's always happening on yesterday. I wonder if there's a Noster day. Like just a day you just say no. Because there's a day you say yeah, anyway. Sorry, Nina, these are the prattlings of a madman. Chance the Madman Madsen. Okay, I'm good. Okay, good. I thought I was evil for a minute, Nina. I need the validation. I do. I need to know I'm a good person. A little bit of evil, though, doesn't hurt anyone. A little bit of evil as a treat is fun. So I'll do that. How are you doing after your grandpa's passing, Nina? We haven't really had a chance to talk about that, so because my schedule's been kind of different and I took 2 weeks off and then my internet's been shitty. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the free list here. It's still scattered, but you're healing. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So here's, okay, there we go. We got Annie back here. Again, Annie, it sounds to me like you're waiting for someone else to come along and save you from this, but you have to save yourself. This is something you have to do. If people are practicing magic and you don't like it, I understand that, but you need to start taking a stand for yourself because it sounds like you're in a situation that you don't want to be in. So it's important to take action in this situation. And like I said, a friend or a boyfriend, especially a boyfriend, we could use them as a form of escaping from what's going on. We need to focus on healing the emotional self, you know, and, you know, doing whatever we can to get there. And Nina, you're very welcome for that. You're very welcome. Okay, Annie, I'm wishing you the best, Annie. I really am. And, yeah, thank you again for the donation. I'm going to go back here. Unless someone else wants to donate, I'm going to go back to the free list. Yeah, is anyone out there? Because we had Elizabeth, we had Angela that came on. Is anyone else wanting to donate here? Because my prices are up there now. And if not, I'm just going to be a little cutie and I'm just going to bear it out. Just going to go for it. Actually, you know what, Nina? Because you are a member of the channel, would you want to ask a question? Or do you have a question? That's my question. Okay. A general for May. Perfect. Okay. I think we can do that, Nina. I think I got it just enough energy to maybe squeeze one out. That sounds wrong when I say it out loud, but I think you know what I mean. Talking about cards. What else would I be talking about? Let's do it to it and see what we can come up with here. I'm going to use the round bastards, these things. Okay? These are round cards. I call them round bastards because they are round and they are... yeah, they're bastards. I don't need to explain myself. Here we go. Nope. Hard to shuffle round cards. You wouldn't believe it. I'm sure you would, though. It's difficult. I know, right? They're cool cards. You'll like the symbols on these. These are interesting. I got these for my birthday, and I've been using them ever since. Alrighty. Let's do this here. Let's see what we can come up with here. To each their own, Annie. I understand. I understand that, but there comes a time when eventually you take steps to take charge in your life and to move forward. in that way. And it sounds to me like you're hesitating a little bit. And you can get mad at me if you want for saying that, but you need to start taking steps, start taking initiative, start taking action. If you're in a place you don't want to be, learn about it. Those resources I gave you, check those out, okay? And work on protecting yourself if that's something you want to do. You don't want to be a witch, then don't be one. But do something where you can start taking action and initiative. Okay, so Nina, we have the bridge and we have the mask right here. Okay, these two cards I'm seeing here, so what's going to be happening in May? Well, I don't know, Nina, if you've been working on a rainbow bridge, but it's going to be completed in May. All the colors of the rainbow, and there's going to be Skittles and Lucky Charms. It's a beautiful thing. No, here's what I'm seeing here, the mask and the bridge. I'm learning these cards, and so Nina, if you don't mind me reciting from the book of tarot, I will read to you Matthew 13:43. And doth he said, whoopsie daisy, uh-oh, there's too much salt on my pizza. Hey there, soloist. I'm doing Nina's reading, and then I'm thinking I'm going to go to you next, so good to have you back, though, soloist. All right, so LX1 is 61, and then XXXV33 or 111 is 38, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so we got 61, and then we got 38. Here we go. The Mask. Jim Carrey's performance in The Mask was one... no, I'm just kidding. The Mask. The persona, the performance, the reveal. We often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity. Yet, contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows the mask... Okay, it allows. The mask gives voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression, yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. You are in the realm of theater, so anything is possible. Speak with the other's voice. Embody the other's limbs. You are taking part in the ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception around you, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who, but it's likely you've become so attached to a single mask that you need to fall face forward into the perception bending time. Trust it. Okay. So, Nina, we need to talk about the mask. And I'm going to need you to sit down for this one. No. Let's talk about it like this. So there's a persona that exists within each and every one of us, right? It is a lot. It is a lot. There's a persona that exists within each and every one of us. The Nina that you present to the world is one of those personas. The Nina when you're alone, that is usually the true self. And the Nina that is thinking. And the Nina that has sweaty thoughts, okay, which is like anxiety at night. Those are sweaty thoughts. The Nina that has those, that's going to be a situation where that's kind of like the real self trying to seek expression. The things that we think about at night that we aren't dealing with, that's kind of like our true core self, because it's trying to bring attention to the parts of ourselves that we maybe aren't happy with, or that we're maybe not accepting, right? To me, anxiety is excess psychic energy that builds up in the body and doesn't have an outlet. And because we're not recognizing the emotions, it makes it harder for us to deal with these things. And it turns into like the inner tremble, if we can call it that. And so that's kind of what I'm talking about here. To me, the anxiety is psychic energy that hasn't been given voice or expression. All right. So, yeah, these are my theories. These are my thoughts. This is my TED Talk. So that's kind of where I'm at here. So it's important for you when you're done with the day, Nina, it's important for you to know who you are at the end of the day. Take the mask off, for instance. Sometimes there's the Nina, I get a sense of this from you. I get a Nina that's very soft and reserved, and then I get a Nina that kicks ass and takes names, right? Like you're literally kicking someone's butt and you're writing notes at the same time because you're that amazing. But that's what I'm seeing here. And those two Ninas can be united. You can stand up for yourself. I feel like you would stand up for friends. You would stand up for your child. But when it comes up to standing up for yourself, that's where it's difficult. But you're the only you've got, unless there's another Nina, right? That I'm not aware of. But that's kind of what I'm talking about there. We need to unite the two aspects of you that I feel like is very strong and the one that is very giving and kind. And I feel like you keep those two separated. You keep those two segmented, but there can be a lot of kindness and a lot of strength in gentleness and in kindness. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going about there. Does that make sense, Nina? The reason I'm talking about uniting the two is because we got the card, the Jeff Bridges. The bridge. So that's kind of what I'm seeing there. It does. Perfect. So yeah. I'm feeling like that would make sense. So perfect. All right. And it takes time, Nina. It's not something that just happens overnight, right? I always say that. It's not something that happens overnight. Because usually it's not. Every now and again, freaky shit goes down, and you make a lot of progress in one night, right? But a lot of the time, it's the dark, sweaty night of the soul, and it is a bowl of old top ramen that we left in the fridge, and we need to clear that shit out. Hold on one second, guys. Jason, what's your question? Because I think you're the next one on the list here. Yeah, what's your question, Jason? I'm coming right back. Hold on. Not to sound cocky, Nina, but at this point in the game, I can't be wrong. So, no, I appreciate you talking with me. And these are issues that are, they're broad, they're vague kind of issues, but they get more and more defined the more time we spend working on them. It becomes easier. What once was mist or fog turns into steps, right? But in order for the transition to happen, for the mist to turn into a solid object, for us to take steps in the right direction, we have to define it over time. And each time it gets less and less mysterious to us. Mysterious, right? So that's kind of where we're talking about here. Wondering if Kyra has done any tarot on me. I know she's intuitive, and I've seen her wear a black tourmaline necklace. That's a good question, Jason. Let's see. Has Kira done any tarot on Jason? Has Kira done any tarot on Jason? You wouldn't be surprised if she's been on here. I don't know if I'm that popular to where people that you guys talk about just come on the channel. Not quite there yet. I don't think, right? But invite her over, Jason. Let's all have brunch. Or Brinner, which is breakfast for dinner. I like that you think so highly of me, Jason. I do. I like that, but I'm still a little fish in a big pond. Yeah, that's true. You never know. You're right. I had a weird experience happen once. I was doing, and I'll shuffle the cards as I'm doing this, Jason, but I was doing a reading for people. I went on Reddit. By the way, never do that. But I went on Reddit and I was scrolling through, as you do on Reddit, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to offer free readings on Reddit. Again, never do that. Just an FYI. Okay, you can tell the story's not going to be a good one. She's a psychology major. Ooh. That's a smart person. Yeah, that's what I got for you there. Psychology and spirituality, if it's done right, can be an amazing combination. My teacher that I have, she's also a psychologist. And so she's a psychic teacher and she's a psychologist, or she's good too. And she's head of the Remote Viewing Association. She's actually got a lot under her belt. But anyway, I went on Reddit, I offered free readings, and I had someone, they didn't know my name, like I was using a different username and everything, but I had someone come through and they were talking with me, and I found out it was one of my viewers from my channel that reached out to me to talk with me. And the odds of them finding me, because I went onto the psychic Reddit and there was so many posts, so many people, that it was just kind of crazy, because they were one of my like faithful viewers back then, and it was just kind of a funny coincidence. So it's possible. I believe stuff like that can happen. I just thought it was funny. I get why dogs scratch themselves that way. Cats too. That feels good. Right behind the ear. All right. Has Kira used tarot on Jason here? The one card that has me a bit flummoxed. I like using that word, and I don't get to use it in normal conversation that much. So you guys will be privy to that. Again, that's another word I like to use. So we have this card here. We have the Magician in reverse. And Nina's showing us money signs there. No, it's not the moon. It's not the moon. We got the Magician in reverse. And when I'm seeing the Magician in reverse, I feel like she has interest in this, and I feel like she understands the tarot, or the symbols of the tarot, the symbology of it. And I feel like she's more interested in the symbols rather than the archetypes, right? And with tarot, it's about the archetypes. It's the hero's journey through the major arcana. You have the fool, it starts the journey. You don't know if he's a fool or a master, you blah, blah, blah. You know that whole thing. But then you have the Magician and you have the High Priestess, which are counterparts to each other. The Magician represents the manifesting man, and the High Priestess represents kind of the subtle psychic abilities of the Divine Feminine. So the Magician is the manifester. When I see this in reverse, I don't feel like she's done it directly, but I do feel like she is an intuitive person, and I feel like she picks up signs and signals. I'm not seeing that she does tarot, or that she's done tarot on you, but again, I don't feel like she's, maybe later on, because it feels like there's an ability here, but it does, like, I feel like she's fooled around with it, but it doesn't feel like she does it like as a daily practice. If I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong. The way I'm getting this card, though, Magician in reverse, it feels to me like she understands she has abilities, she understands she's spiritual to a sense, but part of her is still reserved when it comes to fully diving in. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting there. I feel like when she gets older, or when she's in a different part of her life, it'll be more of a thing that she focuses on. But right now, it's kind of like, yeah. You do on her too. Okay, perfect. Sounds like there's a link there. That definitely sounds like there's a link there, but yeah, Magician in reverse. It's not a curse. It could be worse. But there you go. I had to rhyme it. Jason, you understand. You're welcome, Jason. No problem. All right, who is still here that was on the list? I did. I said Crappy Childhood Fairy. It's a channel. I almost dropped my water. It's a channel on YouTube. I would recommend everyone that watches tarot to watch that channel and talk about that. Because it's good. It is a really good channel on YouTube. The name is kind of ridiculous, but the person is doing really good things, I think. Hey there, Starlight. Free readings are closed. You guys want to pay for a reading? Go for it, but the free ones are closed. All right. She is. She totally has that look. She's adorable. Trixie. Trixie. Nah, she's enthralled. Okay, okay, all right, Soloist, your question is going to be next. And the name of the YouTube channel is literally Crappy Childhood Fairy. There's Lisa Romano. You can go up a little bit in the chat. Lisa Romano, Dr. Romani, Crappy Childhood Fairy. Those three people can help change lives, okay? Just one of those people can help change lives. If we're looking for emotional regulation or we're looking towards the steps to take to make ourselves better, a lot of times if we're... Thank you so much, Starlight. I appreciate that very much. Let's do this here. Shoot. Let me add you to the list here. But a lot of times our emotional regulation is off a little bit. Love reading. Okay, Starlight. 1 second here, just because I promised Soloist I do one card, one question, and so I'm going to pull one card for Soloist, and then it's straight on to you, Starlight, okay? And you've got 2 questions. Give me 1 second here. All right. So, what did your coworkers say about you in the meeting yesterday? I'll draw one card here and we'll kind of see what the gist of the conversation was. That's more of a psychic in-depth question because it's kind of like I can't draw a card and get the exact thing that they said, but I'm going to do this and we'll focus on getting a gist of something, possibly. And then we're doing Starlight's reading straight after. Okay. So, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. They could have said something along the lines of maybe you don't cooperate with other people, or maybe you're slow to do the things that you need to do. But it could be something to me like it could be people that are jealous or people that are not as grounded as you are. It feels to me like you have skills in certain areas and other people tend to complain instead of bettering themselves. They tend to complain about other people. So it feels like a small-minded kind of situation. Whatever they're saying, though, I don't feel like if it's an intelligent person that's listening to these kinds of things, they'll understand that it's just hearsay or it's just rumors. But that's what I'm seeing. It feels like it's just people kind of shit-talking. There's nothing you can do about that other than keep on your course and prove them wrong. That's the best thing you can do. The best kind of revenge is to just stay your own course. Don't listen to whatever they have to say, and ultimately try not to care. And I know that's hard. I know that's a hard thing to do, Soloist, but it's going to be the thing that can set you free, because other people's opinions don't mean anything. They really don't. You don't go home at the end of the night and you die from it. You know, their opinions. They're just as correct as your opinions about yourself. But anyway, your opinion is higher than theirs, is what I'm trying to say. It got weird there at the end, but that's kind of where I'm going. Okay, I'm going to do Starlight. Hey there, Hans Coco. So let's do this. Let me tap on this one. Nope, let me tap on this one. There we go. All right. You're very welcome, Soloist, and thank you for coming to the channel, my friend. Look forward to seeing more of you. I'll be back on again, guys, Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to about 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know this time isn't those times, but my internet's been acting crazy, so I'm doing this a little bit later than my normal schedule. Okay. All right, Starlight, let's do a love reading for you. And let's see what we can come up with here. I'm going to crack my knuckles. That was unsatisfying, and now I'm going to shuffle the card. Actually, let's do this here. All right, what is coming towards Starlight in love? Okay, Hans, have a good one. Thank you for coming on here, my friend. And hey, Miami in November, how are you doing? Ugh. What's coming towards Starlight in love? There we go. Wow. Almost every card here, Starlight, is a major arcana. And the one card that isn't a major arcana it's a good card, right? But we're starting off with this. So we have, nope, there. We have Judgment, okay? Which is not an actual kind of mint. This card basically means this. It's a purpose card. But when this is in reverse, it could be that in the past with love, our judgment was skewed or our judgment was off. And there could be a healing phase that you've gone through. It feels like you've actually done quite a bit of work on yourself, because the next card I get here is going to be the Six of Wands, okay? And that to me is saying that you've done enough work on yourselves that you can celebrate even the small victories, because it feels like to me that there's been a lot of harshness on the self and now things are starting to get better for you. But the reason I feel that this was happening, you could have either been dealing with a toxic Aries or just toxic, more masculine-like energy, because we have the Emperor in reverse, and this is like someone who could be controlling or someone who can be manipulative, a liar, maybe even a cheater. But it's like dealing with some energy that is so like not fun to be around. Like getting out of that situation is something that I feel like is obviously an important thing here. The other two cards we have here are, in my opinion, pretty similar, okay? We have Temperance, and I view Temperance as being nature's balance card. And then the Justice card I view as being basically society's balance card, okay? Temperance is about two things fusing together and making something better. You can view it as the sun and the moon like it is in this right here, but it's basically about finding equilibrium, finding something that helps us feel balanced, something that helps us feel strong. And in this situation here, I'm feeling like maybe there could be possibly a Sagittarius, right? A Sagittarius or a Libra that could possibly be moving towards you. I am gonna caution this by saying, I am gonna preface this by saying this. Don't just focus on those signs. If something comes in and it seems like a good option, try it out, see what's going on. Make sure that there's trust, there's open communication, the person doesn't interrupt you while you're talking, and that there's this sense of kind of ease in the relationship and an organic sense of things moving along. If it feels like a forced connection or you feel obligated to do something, get out of that situation. Okay, so, but there could possibly be a Libra or a Sagittarius or someone else coming along. But from what I'm seeing here, it looks like there could be two options, okay? I'm saying Sagittarius and Libra, but it could also be, Libra and Sagittarius. So you got options. But seriously speaking, it looks like there's two options. I'm going to say, my foot. Okay, I'm going to say that, give me a second here. I'm going to try and get a time frame. You get to watch me whip and nay. So we're just going to kind of step into that here. Hold on one second. Okay. Alrighty, let's do this. There we go. So Starlight, let me open up my other app here that allows me to draw. What time? Okay. Okay, so I'm feeling around. It's like fiery for some reason. It feels like significant events are going to happen in August regarding love. But it feels like maybe you've met people that are timid and you're wanting something that's more legit, or you're wanting something that's more like someone who can match your kind of energy, not overwhelm you, not overcome you with strength or power, but someone who can be a complement to you, right? That to me is what the Temperance card is representing. It's two things that complement each other. The Temperance card can also be, it's like light and darkness, it's the balance, but it can also be oil and fire, which is kind of like those two coalesce together to become something that's like a fuel source for the fire. So there's a sense of symbiotic relationship there. One fuels the other, and the other is kind of meant for the one. Anyway, not symbiotic, but close. But let's look here and see. So like I said, it feels like August is going to be a good time for something to be coming in. That's kind of the first step I'm getting. It feels like there's something in August. It feels like there's something in September. There could be something before, but the person in August to me feels like someone you kind of know a little bit, but the person in September feels new. That doesn't feel like someone you've had any interactions with. And it doesn't feel like they're part of your friend group, but the person in August the energy feels familiar to me, which in turn makes me feel like it would be familiar to you. Just obviously don't rush into anything, take yourself into the situation, realizing that if it's an organic thing, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But if it's not, just step away from that process and realize that the more you value yourself with love readings or with love, the more the universe is going to give you people that also value you valuing yourself. And what I mean by that is setting boundaries, saying what you will and won't tolerate, or what you would or would not want in a prospective mate. Okay, I had to make it sound like National Geographic there for a second. But that's kind of the area that we're going into here. So August, September. And I'm either wondering if one of these people is a twin, or if there's another person coming up that could possibly be a Gemini, but it feels like there's twin energy that I'm feeling or kind of tuning into. And maybe some spiritual concepts as well, but I feel like the person's kind of skeptical, but they're open-minded would be what I would say, but they're skeptical. But at least they're open-minded about it, or they entertain the idea. They don't just instantly shoot it down, which in this day and age is a relief. But that's what I'm getting there. Starlight is. What do you think? Okay, I'm gonna see something here. New love. Okay. Okay, so you're wondering about new love, or because just the words new love, is that the next question then? Because I feel like we kind of addressed that part too, but maybe if you want me to be more specific, you can ask a more specific question, and then we can kind of dive in there. Get the pot boiling, so to speak. Okay. Well, we did answer a question with the time frame there, so that does make sense. So, yeah, again, I do feel like the new love is going to be the one coming in September. So, okay, how is your person feeling? Okay, let's do that one. That's a good one. About you. Okay. All right, let's do that. How is your person feeling about you? How is Starlight's person feeling about them? That's a good question. Let's see what we can do here. I'll show you the cards here. I'm just laying them down first. So right now, just so I understand the context of this, sorry about that. Just so I understand the context of this a little bit more, Starlight, is this a person that you've already been with, that you're wondering about? Or is this the person that we were just talking about in the last question? Are you wondering how the new person that's coming into your life, how they feel? Or I just want to know that context, and then I can read the cards accordingly. Because I've got the reading here. I'm just curious if we're wondering about... Sorry about the lights. They've been going on and off. I need to hook them back up. All right, I'll just read them like this then. So we have these cards here. We have the Eight of Cups. And I'll just show you these cards. Eight of Cups. Then we have the King of Swords. We have the Three of Wands in reverse. Old. Okay. Perfect. That makes sense. Three of Wands in reverse. We have King of Wands in reverse. And then we have the Six of Swords in reverse. So what I see here, Starlight, is this. Eight of Cups is someone walking away from a situation. And I feel like it's this person that we're talking about here, the relationship that was there before. They're walking away from a situation that they just don't want to be in anymore. Or maybe this is you walking away from the situation. King of Swords, to me, is we could be walking away from someone who's an overthinker, or maybe someone who can be kind of careless or tactless in the way that they deal with things. The person you're with. Okay. So then we get this. We get Three of Wands in reverse. We get King of Wands in reverse. And we get, hey there, Cynthia, we get Six of Swords in reverse. So it feels to me like the person you're with, if you're on here and you're asking me, how does the person feel about you? I'm probably going to venture a guess and say that it's probably not a good relationship, because you're asking a stranger on the internet how the person that you're with feels about you. You should be able to talk to them directly. So it sounds to me like you're dealing with someone who's either not emotionally open, or someone who's stubborn, or someone who just doesn't get it. But the way these cards look is it's like, if you feel like it's time to move on and find something better, I would say focus on your healing journey first, and then I feel like you could move on and find something better. Because as of right now, the way I'm looking at these cards here, it doesn't look like a good situation. And you shouldn't have to, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions, but you shouldn't have to come on here and rely on a stranger to tell you how the person you're with feels about you. You should be able to ask them that outright. Because that's what a real partner would let you do. You wouldn't be wondering or guessing or thinking, oh God, do they care? So yeah, I would say it's probably time to move on in that situation there, if that's something you feel like you can do. But yeah, that's what I've got. Probably not what you wanted to hear, but possible new options on the horizon. But I would focus on self-healing first, you know, to make it so you don't keep falling into situations where we attract men or just people that are unavailable in the first place. But the healing journey needs to start to where we don't attract those kinds of people. So, yeah. Not at all, Cynthia. Starlight's reading is done now, so yeah, if you wanted to donate, you'd be the next person up. So I've got these options though, Cynthia. Take a look at these. These are my new prices here. So you tell me what you'd be comfortable with, and you can say what would 2 questions cost, or you can ask me, you know, I can mix and match different things. But that's what I've got for the donations. I added this new one. But you don't have to do that one. You can totally do one of these ones, or you could do 2 questions, or you could do, you know, something like that. So are you wanting to do a donation question, Cynthia? I'll be right back. I'll be right back. So I'll let you think about that for a second. No pressure, my friend. Either way works. But I'll be right back. Nope. This one. No. Hey, Trixie. Awesome, Cynthia. Perfect. Yeah, type it out. I'm right back here again. And there we go. Oh. Oh, you'd like to ask for a monthly forecast. Okay, it's calling for rain with a little bit of, oh, hell no. I'm just kidding, Cynthia. Let's see what we can find for you. Monthly forecast for Cynthia. Let's look here. Really, any guidance or anything for yourself? Okay, perfect, perfect. Let's see what we can come up with for you, my friend. What do we have coming up for Cynthia in the month of May? Bring the rain. It's hot out here. Bring the rain. You know what, Cynthia? This one time I'm going to allow it. After this, though, you're on your own. I'm not saying I have power over nature, but I am kind of saying that at the same time. Let's see what we got here. So I'm going to do it like this, Cynthia, because I feel like it makes more sense. Let's do 5 cards. And basically, it's going to be this week, next, basically the whole month, right? But I'm going to do 1 card for each week. There's not that much in the rest of the... Well, let me show you here. Okay. So this week, we're seeing 2 of Cups in reverse, okay? 2 of Cups in reverse is a card where we could be kind of running from things that we need to be doing, and in an emotional way. Maybe there's parts or aspects of ourselves that we're not giving attention enough to. It could be a possible ex trying to come back in. That could also be something. But it, to me, and I heard the word, or I heard the name David, or something that started with a D, but it was something like that. Anyway, so don't know if that resonates, but the 2 of Cups in reverse to me is like working things through with yourself, because someone being there to help you through this at this time can definitely, that can definitely happen, but I feel like you have to be there for yourself more. That's kind of what I'm getting. So ultimately, it's kind of like you're wanting to learn, you're wanting to grow, but it's time to implement the things that you're learning. And I feel like you're good with that. I feel like you're someone who tries really hard to do well. And I feel like you're someone who prides themselves on being knowledgeable, and someone who has that sense of pride, which I view as a good thing because it shows you have confidence in yourself. There's still some areas where we can achieve more. There's still some areas where we could achieve more, but it's going to be happening in a way that's like, it feels like it's going to be coming in the form of lessons. Obviously, that's kind of how we learn most things, but that's what it feels like. You're okay, Cynthia. You're just fine. The David thing, sometimes those names resonate, sometimes they don't. But I've always been told to give information. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Your best friend's been telling you that. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm getting here, and that's kind of going to be the lesson for this week. The next week, we have this. We have the Page of Swords. Right there, Page of Swords. And when I see the Page of Swords, hey there, Ravenwind. How are you doing, my friend? The Page of Swords here could be, next week we could be prone to worrying, which might be different than the last week, but it could also be something where usually people that worry a lot about things are also people that care a lot about things. And that kind of carries over, you know, caring carries over into a way that we perceive reality to be. It feels like sometimes you're the only one that has their head screwed on right. It feels like, I don't know, Cynthia, if you've ever seen Invader Zim, but in the show Invader Zim, there's Dib and there's Zim, right? And Dib knows that Zim is an alien. He's got green skin, you know, he's clearly trying to impersonate humans, but Dib knows he's an alien, but everyone else around him, they have no idea that he's an alien. Everyone else is kind of, at times, too stupid to know what's going on. It feels to me like, Cynthia, you can be used as the voice of reason, but that's not a responsibility you should just put on yourself. A lot of times, if something's going on, get yourself out of there. If people are having issues and troubles, it's not your job to be the mediator or to make things better. It never was. For some reason, responsibilities like that can fall on certain people, but it's never your job or your duty to do that. So ultimately next week, and I'm glad to hear you're good, Raven, ultimately next week, okay, which I would view starts on Monday, focus on, how can I put this? It's been a while, don't recall it. You're just fine. You're just fine, Cynthia. I'm just bringing it up as a point because it kind of cements home the thing that I'm talking about. It's a comedy. It's stupid, but it's funny. But anyway, basically, it feels like you're going to be entering into a place of let people, if someone's going to fail, let them fail. If you feel like you have to be called in to do minor things for someone in their life, just don't do them. At some point, let people take responsibility for their own actions. And if people are going to fight, it's not your job to be the mediator. If that's ever something you feel like you need to do. Unless it's your children, in which case, you know, you'd step in. Don't be like, you know what, guys, it's not my problem. Apart from that, though, yeah. All right. So then we have the Two of Wands. This is not next week, but the week after next. So the third week of May. What I see with this one, Two of Wands, is going to be you focusing on allowing yourself to progress or not. And what do I mean by allowing yourself to progress or not? What I mean is this. A lot of times, we could be outgrowing the people that we're around. And when we start outgrowing the people that we're around, it kind of becomes obvious. There could be a new friend group that we want to go into, or there could be just the old friend group that we're in. Maybe a lot of the people we don't vibe with anymore. And sometimes, depending on how old we are and how we made our friends, it could be circumstantial, it could be situational, but sometimes certain friends aren't meant to go along for the ride of our life. A lot of times, it's actually pretty rare to have someone that's really there for us and to have that kind of situation. So when I see the Two of Wands, that's making me feel like it's time for you to make some decisions. And you have to make these decisions. They're not going to be made for you. For things to get better in your life, it's time for you to take more charge and not force anything to happen, but focus on wherever you feel like you're struggling. Like wherever you feel like your weaknesses are, learn about those weaknesses. Make the weaknesses your strength. Understand and uncover those things. A lot of times the things that we're blind to, we're blind to. It's hard for us to see it. But other people, if we trust them, can help us to understand ourselves a little bit better. I heard something once that to me was pretty deeply profound, and it makes a lot of sense. A stranger on the street, in the first 20 minutes of meeting you, will have a better idea of who you are in 20 minutes than you have for 20 years. Because that person can see everything about you in an unbiased way. You only have like 4 good friends. You're always just home. Hey, I get it. Your home is your castle. Other people are dirty assholes. I think that's how it goes. I'm the king of the castle or the queen. You're a dirty asshole casserole. Hey, if it makes you guys feel any better, I'm a homebody too. Homebody once told me. But they didn't, because I'm just home. Starting to get to me too, I think. Yeah, sometimes too much of alone time can be a bit maddening. It's good to have someone who can help mirror us and help us to understand those kinds of things that are going on. But let's look at this card here. So then we have this one. This is the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Oh yeah. You bet your ass, Raven. I'm definitely more of a... I wouldn't say I'm antisocial, but definitely people are draining for me like real life people. I need my alone time, like desperately. So I'm definitely more of an introvert. I can do the social thing, I can, but I'd prefer, I'd prefer not to at times. It can just be so draining. So we get the Wheel of Fortune in reverse for the last week, Cynthia, and this is going to be something where I feel like we're talking about it's up to you, your decision to move forward or not. It feels like lately, Cynthia, things are lining up more in your life for you to be able to make better decisions, which to me feels like you're going to be making the right decisions, but just don't overthink it too much, right? The Wheel of Fortune in reverse to me is saying that we can be paralyzed by choice, or we can be paralyzed by which way do I go, what do I do? And it's like you're doing it. You're literally doing it. If you're confused, you're living life. If you're not confused, you're living life. There's all these experiences we want to have. If we want to make something happen, let's take it a day at a time. And let's focus on building something up in small steps. Yes, this one's Trixie. Raven, she's... Right, Trixie, you're a cutie, aren't you? She's coming back around. There you go. Raven says hello, Trixie. 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 Nah, she says F you guys. I'm sorry, she has the mouth of a sailor. I don't know where she got it, and I wish she would return it, but here we are. So that's kind of the situation I'm seeing here. The overall energy for the month of May is this card. The Eight of Swords. And if you look at this card, Cynthia, it's in reverse. But if you look at this card, there's someone in the mirror and they're like strangling themselves, or, they're wrapped around this. But then you look at them in actuality and they're not blindfolded and nothing's holding them back except themselves. When I see this in reverse, it could be part of us wanting to stay small, right? There's a part of us that's wanting to stay small. You need to work on your overthinking. It's a work in progress. I really need you to overthink about this, Cynthia. I get it. I overthink too. It's not something I can be like, you know what? I've figured it all out. I'm fine. I know how to do it. No. A lot of the things I talk to you guys about, I myself am still learning, still struggling with. But I figure who else to say it than someone who's experienced it, right? And overthinking, there's no other way to say it. Overthinking is a bitch, right? And I don't mean in the feminine sense. I mean in a sense that it's just not fun. It's a little weasel that sneaks into your head parts, and it makes you feel a little goofy, a little strange. One of these live, okay, Raven says, one of these live readings, I might pull up a few cards for you, Chance, just for fun. I will just do it once, just to see what comes up. You're such a blessing to us with these readings and advice. Well, thank you so much, Raven. I would welcome the opportunity if that's something you ever wanted to do. I'm going to do Cynthia's reading, though, and then I'm going to, log off for the night. It's been a crazy day. I don't normally go on, well, up until recently. My schedule's still going to be 1 to 5, but just today, my internet crapped out, and so I wasn't able to do the whole thing when I wanted to. So, but now it seems like the internet's working better. But a lot of people, Cynthia, are scared, and I know this is going to sound strange. I've said this a few times. A lot of people are scared of Robert De Niro. I don't know what it is about him, but he's just kind of intimidating. No. A lot of people are scared of their own greatness, okay? A lot of people are scared of the fact that they could do and get whatever it is they want out of life. And a lot of people think if everything happened for me, if everything was going well, what would I do? Sometimes there's trauma that's blocking us from moving forward because we don't know what it feels like to be successful. The hell we know of failure, in quotation marks, feels much safer than the hell we don't, and that would be the hell of success, right? Either way, you're kind of living in hell, but there's different problems, different trade-offs for each one. So if we want to be successful, we need to do things where we have habits of successful people. And those are going to be challenging ourselves frequently, doing things that make us feel uncomfortable but are ultimately good for us is going to be really good for it. Learning new things, have your mind soak up things like a sponge. Be curious again, like when you were a child. And a lot of times, you can learn a lot about yourself by going back to your childhood and finding out what you were really interested in back then because we didn't have any biases. We weren't colored a certain color yet. We weren't in it yet. In this life, I mean. As we get older, people paint us and they color us into these different positions in life. And it's up to us to undo that, to make it so that we get to paint our own colors, so that we get to be the person we want to be. Because society, school, religion have all forced us to be someone that we're not. And now it's time for us to take our identity back, right? So, and yes, meditating helps for sure. Meditating is a beautiful thing. But even that, take in small steps. A lot of times people will say, gurus will say, to start meditating, just do it 30 minutes a day, and then you're done. It's like, no. How about you start with 5 or 10 seconds, and then you slowly work your way up to longer and longer amounts of time. If you do a bunch of meditation in the first day, you're going to get burnt out and you're going to feel like you failed, and then you're going to give up. Start very, very small and then build yourself up gradually. And that works for any skill. Start small, build yourself up gradually. Don't expect anything super great to come from this. Have no expectations. And if anything good comes out of it, great. But if you still need to learn things, also great. Okay? There's room for improvement. But yeah, so hopefully that helps answer that. It's kind of like someone saying, well, and I always use this example, you haven't run a marathon before, just run a marathon. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'll hurt myself. Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Yes, it does. And absolutely, Raven. Screw you up too. 5 minutes of meditation does a lot. It does. It does. Basically, getting back to self, getting back to center is a huge thing. But Cynthia, does that reading make sense for you? Because I think I'm going to get ready to call it good for tonight, and then I'll be on again on Monday at 1 p.m. until about 5. It's going to be 3.5 to 4.5 hours when I'm live now instead of 6 to 7 or sometimes 8. Just because that's easier for me, and it's better for you guys too, because then you don't have to have this too. But I appreciate you, Raven, Cynthia, and Chantel, and anyone else that's watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And the channel is growing more and more. And like I said, in the hopefully not too distant future, I can tell you guys the things that are going to be going on with me and the channel, and we can go from there. But until then, everyone, toodaloo, so long, farewell, and hello. I'm a little bit confused, and so the hello is just, aloha, but for me. Anyway, everyone take care. Cynthia, Raven, thank you guys. Chantel, thank you for moderating and taking care of the channel. And I will see you guys. I'm not going to be on tomorrow. Monday through Thursday is what I'm going to be doing. And then I'm coming back on Monday. So Monday through Thursday is going to be the new schedule, 1 p.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to 5. Awesome. See you on Monday, Cynthia. See you, Raven.